What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, checking the audio and bringing you guys the latest update, of course, on our very own Dallas Cowboys. But as you can see tonight from the title and pretty much everything else going on here on this stream, today it's all about you because it is a fan-led, interactive, MCF draft here tonight. So you guys will be picking and letting us know what you guys want to see our Dallas Cowboys do.
I mean, we will give our 2 cents on who we think, and we'll get opinions from everybody out there on what's going down, on who's available. But you guys will make the picks in the end, your votes, and we're gonna a little twist, new things here added and into the mix here from our previous mock drafts. We haven't done many this offseason, like 1 or 2. This is the fully led, fan-led, interactive MCF Dallas Cowboy 2023 NFL mock draft. Yes, you helped make the pick, guys. Here with us on this side of the mic.
There we go.
On this side of the camera, repping my little, business attire for Cowboy. It's time to draft. Let's draft.
Repping. The Dallas Cowboys here. Always. So.
Right there, full-fledged. And guys, repping that star over everything as always here. Navy, blue, silver, and stars. We got that 5. We need that 6 and beyond. And again, it's already started with free agency. It's already started in this offseason. But we know how the draft is and how important it is for our Cowboys when it comes to the draft. Will McClay at the helm here, kind of guiding our team forward, and has done it, year after year. So now we're going to get another dosage of this in about 10 days.
Yeah.
So get ready, guys. I was saying this week upcoming it would be the draft. It's not. It's next week, next Thursday. But nonetheless, about 10 days away, guys. We're buckled up and ready. We're going to get a good, I think, idea what guys are going to be there, and also compared to some of the guys that we have, as in our Dallas Cowboys have made obvious. Have obvious interest towards a lot of these players that around these picks. We're going to see which ones pop up tonight in this NFL draft, mock draft, whatever you want to call it, for our Cowboys. And again, we don't want to push YouTube and all that stuff. We're going to just do it here on our screen, and then we will let you know what's available. Now, there's some little twist to this. We'll talk about that in a minute. But maybe before we even get into this mock draft, where it's you guys are voting on this. Baby, let's go with the people that make the world go around here at MCF.
Shout out to love, the appreciation. A huge mahalo to the sponsor of the months. You heard that right, guys. Yes, Mark Hovsepian. Much love to you. 8 weeks in a row. He still has 60 points on that stream boss as well. Yeah. So although, if the leaderboard's anything to go by, there might be some changes upcoming this week.
Right now, Mark is on the board. I think he's right there, second place. Yeah, but to keep that streak going from 8 weeks in a row to 9, that's our second best ever, by the way. He has number 1 of all time, 15 in a row for Mark Hovsepian. But to keep that, it's going to have to happen tonight for Mark, all the way from Hawaii. To get that number 9 in a row into that 3rd month, he's going to have to beat out the man Snug X. We know why he's here. He's above right now in first place. A nice little lead over Mark Hovsepian. With tonight's little rules, though, voting guide rules. It might change things up depending on who's here, who's not. Hopefully everybody's here for the whole ride tonight and commenting on the replay below in this video. And let us know what you think about the picks that were made tonight. We will also post the final drafted players here on the MCF mock draft with the family. We're going to post that on Twitter, probably on here on YouTube as well, like the actual the names after it's said and done. So you guys will be able to see it as well in writing, so to speak. So now, of course, maybe before we can even get to that, we also got to give the shout out to the Cash App side of things, and who's running the show in the Cash App for the last 2 weeks, back to back here again. It's the man Jason Renfro.
Thank you, Jason.
As I replace you for a second, he's repping that Randy White jersey from the '80s. He won it here, MCF. Family member for the last 3 years, I think, straight, just dominating it here with us. Appreciate you, Jason Renfro, but dominating it here with us, outside of the beautiful wife. Is the leader on this board. He's the same leader right above us there. It's Snug X.
He's trying to go for the full takeover.
He is going for the full Monty here. First place on the overall, first place in the Cash App. I think Gloria's in second. Jason Renfro in third right now as we speak. So we'll see how that trickles out as well. Tonight will be the finale on that side of things for the end of the week, Sunday night finale. We all hope you guys had a great weekend. We're going to kick off this final full week before the draft, which will be the following week, next Thursday. And I do want to say, as we're going through our YouTube situations here, you guys know the story. If you haven't, you guys have heard. If you guys are on a nightly, watcher
here with us.
Yeah, if you guys are
around, but in case you didn't know, in the meantime, there's only a handful of ways to help support the channel.
4 ways.
While we're going through these YouTube shenanigans.
Memberships and Super Chats should be back, hopefully, next month sometime. We're hoping. Fingers crossed. But until then, like you were saying.
Like a draft. We're closer every day.
Like you said, though, it's 4 ways to drop love here. And kind of helping out tonight is going to be important. If you want to go, it's going to go through these 4 ways. If you want to help kind of sway the votes to your player,
yes,
maybe it's 4
ways. You want your vote to matter a little more. But anyway, first of all, yes, through the Cash App, Money's Time, MyCowboysFamily. You have the Venmo at my-cowboys-family, the regular PayPal link, of course, and if you want your message to show up right on screen, just like a regular Super Chat would, that Streamlabs link is the way to do it, and that also knocks down Mark Hosepian's stream boss as well.
And Mark has put points back up. He was down to 30-something. He's back to 60 on there, so much love to the man, Mark Hosepian, and everybody else in the running for this tonight's finale, and again, this is the 4 ways of dropping the love, but as you see those 4 ways, there's one way that was just flexed. Yeah, flexed. And that was Jason Renfro in the Cash App of Go Cowboys with $1 Jason. Holler. Again, it's not a cumulative here. It's not cumulative. So you got to drop the 3, drop the 5, or drop the 10. I'll explain in a minute here if you want to make your votes count. This first round is already underway. If you guys look over here, we'll explain this. Jason Renfro,
voting
much
in the
love.
Chat on your way in, guys. You're already participating in our first round selection. So while I do some shout outs here in the chat, baby, you go ahead and throw the image up on the screen, and we'll also go ahead and explain how that works. But shout out to Moon Santa's Pale Moon, much love. We have the Lunatic in the house. Skeptical fan always staying skeptical.
Always.
Bruce got the toxic juice, said great CGI turning MCW into Jason. So Rolando Rodriguez in the house all the way from South Texas.
Yes.
The Lunatic, much love. He said Captain Trade Down is ready to ride. So
that's the one thing we're not going to do tonight, because that would just take way too long. Trading down, find the right deal, and blah blah blah. Whoa!
Ooh,
in the house.
Skeptical fan always staying skeptical with the $3.
So
Holler saying, did I miss anything?
Oh, you just got started. We just warming it up. You was warming it up with us here. Skeptical fan always staying skeptical. I would say kicks it off tonight with the first choice of favoring which draft pick you want.
Yeah. So
let's say it again. I know you're going through the shout-outs.
Let me finish the shout-outs, and then I'll break down exactly how we're doing it tonight.
And we'll talk about Skeptical's comment.
Scorpio, much love to you. We have Daniel Berry, Philly. What's up, James Macias? Kevin Bilbo, hello and hi. Dwayne Broussard, the top dog himself, of course.
the
Landlord from Wakanda, hello. Let me see. Thomas Garrett, the superior Garrett. So real quick, I think that's everyone here so far. So let me break down how it's going to happen. So of course, everyone here, as soon as you're coming in here, you're voting in that poll. Your vote already counts towards, the total overall on who you want the Dallas Cowboys to pick. Now
I want to make sure we start off with the first round, right? I already started the simulation, not the simulation, but the mock draft off here on our side. And ran the first, just let it run till we get to the Cowboys. And then these are the 4 to me, this is now someone has to make the decision here. We can only pick 4, and I'm going off of a couple of things. Please understand what the rules
we are
here.
limited to 4, just because that's how many the YouTube poll allows us to
Well,
put,
you guys can change that, but here's the thing: in this right here, in this poll, we have the 4 players that are listed in different ways, right? So these are listed either on the higher, like in the proper spots where Cowboy interest is at. You'd expect this guy
to get picked in the 3rd round, so to speak.
Right. And the Cowboy interest, as you can see, and the best 4 that the Cowboys have interest for, the top names on the list that I have in front of me, that are left after each round will be the ones we will put up here. More or less will be, unless it's a position that we've already taken, right? So I'll skip over that, but we will put those 4 in the draft options for you guys, the family, to vote on. That's the best we can do. But there is ways of altering things. There's ways of adding names to this list. And you guys have to handle that. This is why it's a MCF fan-led mock draft. And Skeptical is the first one to be able to do that.
Yes, so he said right now he's down for best player available. So you have to let us know,
You got to let us know, Skeptical.
Who did you vote for then?
I mean, again, and we'll go into it. I guess now we can go into let's go into it now. So the best 4 players available. And I could go through the entire list of who was drafted. I could wait a couple more minutes to do that. I'm trying to let it go. But you can see the 4 players that are left that are the best. And I think we are lucky in this mock draft that these 4 players came down to us here, at least a couple of them. Because, again, I would have to look at it. I don't have the list in front of me, so you'd have to...
and just throwing it out there, if we are going off of best player available, I do think it kind of tends to lean in one direction.
Well, hold on now. You got Bijan Robinson at running back.
Yes.
You got Zay Flowers at wide receiver. All these guys the Cowboys have interest in. Michael Mayer at tight end and Darnell Wright from University of Tennessee. He's a right tackle, but also can play left guard very well. So again, these are the four guys that you have available. These are actually, I'd say Bijan and Michael Mayer are the two top guys, in my opinion, at their positions in this draft.
So if we're talking, like Skeptical said, as far as best player available, we're assuming it kind of has to be one of these two guys. Just putting that out there. Right. Now, outside of that, Zay Flowers is a bit of a surprise pick, but as we know, the Cowboys do have some interest in him.
Yeah, a lot of interest.
And when you look at some of the guys that were maybe already picked, or guys that would just honestly be too much of a reach there.
And that's what I'm going to do right now. I want to make sure I show this because, again, I'll explain why they're not on this choice for us. Here, Jackson Smith Njaba, whatever you say his name,
I think.
JSN, he's been picked already. I'll tell you about who in a minute, guys. And then Joey Porter, the cornerback, Joey Porter Jr., he's off the board. So is Devin Witherspoon, cornerback. These are the three guys the Cowboys had targeted that were in the upper echelon. The Cowboy known targets. I'm not saying there's other good players here. Those three guys the Cowboys had interviewed either in a meeting, an interest somewhere in the combine or senior day or pro days, or had a 30-day or Dallas Day visit. All right, and none of these guys were available. I want to make sure I say that. So as I pop up here on my side, the guys that the way they were drafted. Okay, guys, listen: Anthony Richardson, Bryce Young, Tyree Wilson, Will Levis to the Colts, C.J. Stroud to the Bucks, and down this list. I'm looking here, and the main names I see came off. Okay, so Dalton Kincaid. Is it Kincaid? Yeah, Kincaid. He's a name that's off this list, picked right before us. The Giants picked him. No, it's not the Giants. He was picked. Dalton Kincaid was picked by the Giants. I'm sorry, he was. And Nolan Smith taken by the Atlanta Falcons. Paris Johnson Jr., offensive lineman, probably the best one out there, tackle to the Raiders. Will Anderson, edge rusher to Alabama. Again, a guy I think the Cowboys interested in him. I'm not sure if they were in him or not. Peter Skronsky. A lot of people say he was the best offensive lineman interior in the league in this draft. Christian Gonzalez. Guys that Cowboys might have had interest in. JSN went to the Packers. Deontay Banks to the Washington. Cam Smith to the Steelers. Witherspoon to the Lions. Ringo from Georgia. Cornerback went to the Seahawks. Brian Brees, defensive tackle to Clemson.
Yeah, so again, let me write this down real quick because Skeptical Fan did say Zay Flowers.
So Zay Flowers is pick. Interesting.
And outside of that, baby, real quick, I do think we have a shout out to give on your side. So let me just put that down here.
Okay, all right, we'll get to it. I'm just trying to get all these names because I'm looking at what's left right now. Out of the ones that we already have put there for you guys, like Michael Mayer, Darnell Wright, Zay Flowers, right, Bijan Robinson. These four guys are the top on the list, and you got other guys in here like DeJuan Jones, offensive tackle, Jahmyr Gibbs, running back from Alabama, Josh Downs, receiver. You got John Michael Schmitz, Cedric Tillman. Osiris Torrance, if you want to go offensive lineman there, different name. Again, Avila is, of course, still on this list. A whole bunch of them. Later on, what's his name? Mozzie Smith still on the list, but way down on this list here. So it's really about hearing what you guys want to say about it and who you guys want to put there. Now, let's just say to the last part of this. You can tell us a name you guys are interested in. If it's still there, I will let you know, and you guys can get that name on the board. Now, let me explain what I mean by this, because this is where I'm taking off these guys here on my side that, I kind of have another list on the side saying, these are the guys the Cowboys are interested in. So I want to, pique those interests on those players that the Cowboys we know have interest in. Doesn't mean it's going to be those players. Not every single time is it going to be Cowboy interest, but it is going to be a bunch of those guys. So, again, right now, you look at this list, you're seeing Quentin Johnson, Zay Flowers, Darnell Washington, Darnell Wright, Will McDonald. I'm just saying these guys are the guys the Cowboys targeted. Jordan Addison, Dalton Kincaid, he's off the board there. Broderick Jones, Osiris Torrance, and Kylie Ringo also off the board. So you're seeing a lot of guys off the board that the Cowboys have interest in. But Zay Flowers, one of those guys, still in there. Darnell Wright still in there. Of course, we know the Cowboys did not target Bijan Robinson, but I had to put him in there. He fell through to the 26th pick. So I'm going to leave it in your guys' hands. Would you take him or not? What's the percentage here. A lot of people like Quentin Johnson. To me, I was not a big favorite of him. I'm glad the Giants took him right in front of us. I'm kind of happy Michael Mayer fell to us over Kincaid, although the Cowboys have interest in Kincaid, and the Cowboys have interest in the receiver, in the tight end position. So let me look in here, guys. Now you're going to calculate this, baby, because, again, the way we're going to run it is getting your guys' votes here totaled in. I don't know what they're at now. What are the votes looking at right now, like in the actual the update of that?
Let me look at
just your guys. Like everyone's like one vote they get, right?
Let me see. I actually can't see the vote totals here. Let me try.
That's not good.
No, because I gotta.
We do have a couple. We do have a couple votes in though. So
there we go. Perfect. So with 20 votes in so far, and Mr. FCF and I have already cast our votes. We did it early, so we couldn't be influenced by your shenanigans here in the chat. And honestly, just because we're pretty much more or less set in our mindset, at least for some of these early rounds.
You guys can probably predict what we probably picked.
So pretty much everything from here depends on how this first one goes. But so far, with 55% of the vote, and to me, this is absolutely no surprise at all. It is Bijan Robinson.
Yeah, I thought so.
20% goes to Darnell Wright. 15% to Michael Mayer, and 10% to Zay Flowers. But Skeptical Fan does push that up at least a bit.
And that alters that's how we're going to alter this here, guys.
And of course, the way that we're going to do it, like we said, extra votes get cast in, Zay Flowers' direction. So if our vote total is 20 votes, and he has 10% of that, that's, 2 votes?
I think so, yeah. So,
right?
so
then when you add Skeptical Fan's extra 2 votes,
but then nobody knows what that is yet, so we haven't put it up. And that is, when you look at the actual voting guide, here it is. Here it is, guys. Again, every $3.
If you want to kind of boost, your vote, so to speak.
Yeah, the player you want.
Skeptical Fan's $3 drop gave him an extra 2 votes to place wherever he wanted.
So Zay Flowers, now it goes to instead of 20 votes in the total, it's 22 votes. And those 2 votes are going towards Zay Flowers. So that obviously you guys not going to get those numbers. We got those numbers. But you can see the other ways of doing things, because right now, baby, we had a drop from above in the Cash App side of things from a couple of people. Let me put it that way. And it's from the king of rock here, Jason Renfro, with a $3 holler, but there is no name that he put in there.
Much love, Jason. So I'll make sure to check the chat.
Jason definitely has an opinion on that. And then we have two. I said it, 2 from the leader, guys. 2 from SnugX, 2 $10 hollers.
Much love with
now that's
back-to-back.
Going to that's going to skew. This is going to be the SnugX Bowl here right now for the first round. We're going to give it about 30 minutes. Keep that in mind. So, it's going to run for a while. Again, a lot of people still get a chance, but SnugX dropped 2 $10 hollers, and he said, "You lucky motherfucker." That was one of the things he said. And then another one, of course, from SnugX to Go Cowboys. So we need to know.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Where is he putting his voting power behind?
Yes, SnugX, let us know in the chat, which direction you would like to go in. And remember, guys, yes, it has to be one of these 4 guys as far as where you place your vote. But if you do want to just make the pick completely, as long, that's,
You got. I forgot to mention that one. As long as it's a guy available, a $50 holler. That makes it your pick. I don't care who it is. It's a first come, I guess, first serve. You hit the 50, you get your player, and that's it. It's the vote. The draft for that round is over. So I just want to make sure that it looks like, again, and let me just make it clear as well. If you want to drop the love, you can drop it for one of these guys. You can also drop it for someone that's not on this list.
Yes.
So, like, right now I'm getting it through my side here, baby. And let me just check that here. Let me open this back up.
I'm double checking here because I didn't see Jason mention anything in chat. So just throwing that out there again, Jason.
I think I got another drop from Mr. Jason Renfro here.
Oh, there you go.
And he's telling us who he wanted. And he's pretty sure he's going to put all his votes behind this guy. And listen, I think it's too early for this guy, but I'm gonna shout out Jason Renfro here. He said, I'm sorry. He said this is a $3 holler, so he gets 2 votes.
There we go.
For second round. He wants Rashee Rice in the second round. I still think that's too early, but second or third round is where Rashee Rice would come in. So make sure you put that on layaway for Jason Renfro.
Let me put that here.
And he dropped that $3 holler in there. So we got you, man, for the next round, second round. Hopefully he's available. If he's picked, anything can happen. I can't promise you a thing. Holy shit, baby.
There we go.
And we just got the first pick made here by SnugX. It's a done deal.
And much love, SnugX, with a
I guess not much discussion here.
Sean Lee Holler. He just said,
okay, who did he pick? Because now we got to make that pick.
Literally couldn't help myself. Oh, my God. I don't care who we're picking at this point.
Well, I know I don't know what to say. I mean, appreciate your love.
You got to pick someone.
By the way, we've never seen this get this far down.
I was going to say, yeah, Mark
7 points.
About to lose the stream boss.
What the hell, Mark Hopesepian down to 7 points in the stream boss. We've never seen it go into past 36, 34, whatever it was last time. So SnugX makes the pick. I know you don't care. You're going to give it to somebody else to make this pick? I mean, you wanted to just go
it's up to you. You let me know in the chat what you
make the picks. SnugX, I want to know. I know who you would pick. I know his number one pick.
Now, let me actually.
But I'm talking about number one pick that we have available. All right.
I know. That's why I said that. I threw that in that little caveat there at the end, just because, like, obviously we're not going to get, who's the first QB in the draft again?
I have their names here. Let me bring it up.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I meant by keep it within the realm of somewhat realistic.
So Anthony Richardson from Florida off the board. Bryce Young off the board. Will Levis from Kentucky off the board. C.J. Stroud from Ohio State. I don't know. You go into the Bucks here off the board.
Yeah, you don't have to go through every single name.
But I'm just saying those are the 4 quarterbacks, the main guys that are going to go off the board, the first 4, right? So I'm surprised to see Quentin Johnson off the board so early. Even in front of our spots there.
Let me hit up the chat and read a few points here, just
because
that might influence.
All right.
Some minds,
maybe
right?
SnugX wants something.
So real quick, let me go back a little bit more.
All right, go back.
So, actually, no. Let me start at the bottom, just because I do think that might make more sense. So, real quick, Mike Aldana, yes, we are still on the first round pick. Remember, we're trying to give everybody time to be able to kind of come in, discuss it, because obviously there's a few different points to be made. Let me see. SnugX said, where does Dwayne Broussard or Thomas Garrett? Let them pick it. All right, so the first one to comment in the chat, from Dwayne Broussard or Thomas Garrett.
And it could be anyone. It doesn't have to be just the guys on this list.
Yes.
But it could be
whichever one of them two.
But this is the first round. Please keep in mind, these are the best 4 names we have left on this draft, in my opinion, but also on this draft board's opinion. So
there we go. Now, real quick, Luciantis Pale Moon said, great. We'd waste a first-round pick on a running back when we need far more help with the O-line just so we can get Pollard, Dak, and Robinson
do you want to talk who you...
Because he was not a fan of the fact that Bijan seemed to be leading the pack.
Well, let me ask a question.
Okay.
Who did you pick in this group? Now we can let it out now.
I mean, I know it's like I said. I know it's a slightly controversial one, but I did go with Mayer just because, like I said, as far as positions of need and
so like not
I again, the 2 biggest factors I based it on is what's a position of need and where are we not reaching, because as much as I want to pick O-line with all of I want to put my whole heart and soul into that pick, but it would be a reach. The guys that are left would feel like settling, and at least with Mayer it feels less like settling, because with Bijan I feel like we're opening up a whole other can of worms when it comes to drafting a first round tight end. So that's just my opinion,
right?
Because I'm a skeptical as far as best player available in the first, and that to me
means
is
Mayer
not
over Bijan.
Reaching.
Now I think Darnell Wright. He's an offensive lineman for a reason. He's got versatility. He can play left tackle. Everyone's talking about left tackle. He sucks, and maybe he does. I don't care.
Need him as a left tackle.
I don't care. We got Tyler Smith. But he can play left guard much better than left tackle. He plays unbelievable at right tackle. Well, so I'm just saying that's who I went with offensive line.
I think you're going to be very, very happy because I see Thomas Garrett. He dropped his comment here in the chat and he said, my first round draft pick is Darnell Wright, the guard from Tennessee. Woo! And no surprise there, Thomas Garrett, because I know you are also from Tennessee, so you're showing some home turf representation, some love. So, baby, break down a little bit of Darnell Wright, just because it happened to coincide so perfectly. I felt like
Darnell Wright is a right tackle. So keep that in mind. He's a right tackle. He's been criticized heavily for his left tackle play. And if you need a left tackle, you probably don't want Darnell Wright. We don't need a left tackle, but he's played all over the line. And again, left guard. His issues at left tackle, like Tyler Smith, are much lessened at left guard if you want to move him there. Now, you can also, and let me stress this, Terrence Steele, we don't know how he's going to come back from this injury. Cowboys just got the $2 million or whatever, $3 million restricted free agent tender. We don't know his future. We know Tyron Smith's future, and it ain't going to be much longer. So I'm just saying, like, that could be your guy. You're set. I'm just being real.
I know.
Tyron Smith's on the way out, right? Let's stop daydreaming about it.
I know.
So Darnell Wright has a lot of versatility. I hate using that word, but his if you look what the Cowboys doing, they're setting up those left and right tackles, setting them in stone, and the versatility to be able to move them around if needed. And I think that's what the Cowboys are going to try to build on. Whether it is Darnell Wright, Steve Avila, or these other guys that are still, are out there and around. I don't know where the Cowboys are going to go, but I love the Darnell Wright pick. I love it because it gives the Cowboys a kind of like a one player that can fill multiple holes on that offensive line when needed. And I don't not left tackle, but I'm talking about left guard and right tackle. And you can now...
It feels like addressing several problems at once.
And, with a powerful, great player for the future.
I'm not mad or upset about it. I just feel like it is a slight reach. But because it is such a big position of need and such a big hole that... The point is that it's really important that we actually do something about the O-line situation. So honestly, out of all these guys here, that might have been my second pick. So we'll have to see there. And let me go ahead and hit up the chat a little bit more. Scorpio, not really sure what the status is as far as the simulations. That might be happening on, I'm just saying, like, we'll figure it out.
Not sure.
But hopefully simulations will be coming again soon. It might be post-draft, though. If any simulations happen.
It might be like not live. It might be just recorded. It has to be that way per these people here.
Right? So we're trying to figure that out.
We don't get answers, so we're just kind of working
now, let me go ahead
bare bones
continue to hit up the chat here real quick. Darlow said, Darnell, right, because left guard makes our team complete. Lucentis Pilmu said, Jerry made the mistake with Zeke, and it was proven to be wrong. There's a reason why teams don't draft running backs in the first round. And that's why I said that as much as I think Bijan is absolutely one of the better situations as far as, like, best player available, it feels like we're going to force ourselves back into a bad situation. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. So, anyway, let me keep hitting up the chat. I know, I don't want to talk too much about what I think. I want to know what you guys think.
I mean,
but Thomas Garrett said, I watched Darnell Wright every Saturday. He dominated all the top college defensive linemen last year. So,
I'm telling you.
And that's why I said, I knew that Tennessee connection would come in handy too, because that's the point. You guys, we admit that we don't watch too much college football. Right. So, those of you that do, when you guys say, hey, seriously, we mean it, this guy is worth looking out for, we try to keep an eye, especially if there's confirmed interest from the Cowboys as well, which is why all four of these names appear on our first round list. Yeah. So, real quick, let me keep going. DeLunatic said, we made offseason moves. So Bijan would have been a higher rated player, but Wright can fill the left guard and move to right tackle if our front office decides to mess with any kind of Terrence Steele negotiations.
That's what I think makes this a very optimal pick for the Cowboys because of that future thought for the right tackle.
It feels like he's a guy for right now, but also for, tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
Not bad considering the Cowboys tended to draft a little bit more into the tomorrow side of things when it came to certain situations, right?
And it was interesting. We went with
Jason
tomorrow.
Renfro said that he even went with O-line there.
There you go.
So there you go. So lots of O-line love there. No problem, Mike Aldana. Like we said, exactly for that reason, as people trickle in from work or are relaxing after dinner or about to head to bed and just getting ready, whatever your situation is, whatever your time zone is. Because, hey, some people are just getting done with work right now and heading home, and it's like 6 p.m. I don't know. Well, I don't know your time zone. I guess I'm Hawaii. That's what I said. I don't know your time zone. I don't know your life. Or maybe you're in the future. It's like 5 in the morning.
Mark might come in and make his 2 cents. His thoughts heard here and drop. But we'll see. Whoever's here for the live.
James Macias also throwing in there. Darnell Wright, Bijan would be a beast to run the ball down Stinkadelphia's throat and the rest of the NFC East.
I know. If we run the ball all the time, which we won't because we have the West Coast offense with the lean on the run. When you want to grind it out, when you want to run a little clock, when you want to rest your defense, that's what McCarthy's going to use the run, not just run all the time. He's going to use the passing game in the quick passing.
Yeah, the final two comments I'll read here real quick before I go. Settle up the doggy here for 2 quick seconds. Yeah. Let me see. I
can settle her if you want.
It's okay. OG Lux 09 said, to be honest, having a star running back helped Dak be successful all these years. Forcing defenses to stack the box, so Bijan may be more helpful than we think.
I agree, but there's other guys out there that can do that. I don't mean stacking the box with like the same talent Bijan has, but you have Pollard, who already demands attention from every defensive player.
A retro Scotty bringing up, I picked Wright for the trench purposes, but if Bijan is there, maybe you take him, but you can get running back talent later,
this is that's deep where draft. Yes. Yeah, and listen, I put Bijan up because he trickled down here. I mean, what can I do? Not put him? I know he's a top player at that position.
And that's why I said,
but there's a lot of other guys out there.
I understand why so many picked him. I understand why it feels like you can't not pick him if he somehow falls to us, but it still feels like a trap. for some reason. And
I'm making. And listen, I want to get the final votes from the chat. What does the chat want here when it comes to the final vote?
I mean, they definitely overall went O-line. I'll give you that.
No. I mean, in the. I want to know the poll. That's what I'm trying to say. The poll has to come down. Listen, we got to get the poll kind of final numbers. Yes. So I'm going to close that out. But I also made the pick. I made the pick for Darnell Wright. He's officially our guy here. First round pick. Second round, all the players kind of got drafted. I'll go through the list already. And we're up here, of course, at pick 58. I got to make the change to the top 4 guys. So I'm going to do that. And I guess, well, how do you want to do this, baby? Because we got it picked already. We can close this down, right? We can close this.
Yes, we can. Why do you want to say hello now? Do you see this troublemaker? Oh, with her shenanigans. So yes, go ahead, close out the poll so that I can go ahead and read it.
Yeah, read it so we know what the chat wanted. But we know that the deal was done, guys. And that was Snug X dropping the hammer. Snug X winning getting the pick, and he gave it to Thomas Garrett. Thomas Garrett made the pick, and luckily he was, again, I agree. I give it my 100% blessing on this. I love it. Yeah. And we'll see. This is a realistic pick.
You're happy. Like I said, it's
not a bad pick.
I think Zay Flowers is probably the only one that I probably would not have been too happy with. Personally, nothing gets you skeptical. I just think that we can get a receiver that can fill that similar role later in the draft, and again, this feels like a bit of a reach. I'm not mad with Darnell Wright. Still feels like a bit of a reach.
All right. No, so
that's it. It's like I said, none of these picks were exactly Goldilocks to me, right? There's always a little bit of a but that you could add to it. So real quick, the final poll here, guys, with 25 total votes. The picks made by the MCF family here, and overwhelmingly, like I said, 56% Bijan Robinson. No surprise there. 23% with Darnell Wright, which again also doesn't surprise me considering how many people in the chat, were talking about him as well. Michael Meyer with 11% of the votes, and Zay Flowers only 7% of the votes. So he did fall a little bit lower. I think the argument for Wright was made in the chat, maybe changed a few votes along the way.
This is going to be interesting because what I see here, I'm doing it right now for you guys. And I'm curious to know, there's some guys that fell through here.
Hey guys, the first round, obviously, as we know, it's always really important, very vital. But the Cowboys,
the draft is not made that way.
Will McClay really starts to make magic happen. It starts here and now. It starts in the second round. It starts in the third round. It starts in the fourth round. It goes into the fifth round, right? Because that's where we always end up the most surprised, saying, holy shit, look at this second, third, fourth, fifth rounder that's out here doing all these things that, go above and beyond maybe even some of our own expectations. So, and realistically speaking, everything out there on the table, our second round picks in the last few years have sucked ass. So it's only been this past draft that our picks maybe went a slightly different way, where we hit on pretty much every single round with one exception. So outside of that, most of our second round picks, and Diggs is also another exception, have been very lackluster for over 10 years. So I don't want to continue that trend. So to me, this is almost more than the first pick of the draft. This, to me, with this draft, is going to be the most important pick, because this is probably going to be the person who ends up playing the most or doing the most outside of our first round.
Are you ready for it? Are you ready for it, guys? In this mock draft in round 2,
do it.
Pick number 58. Who do you want to draft from these top 4 options available? I cannot believe that some of the names are available. So let's see what you guys think. You guys let me know.
In a weird way, I can, just because, like I said, this draft to me feels so. And I know I don't want to keep saying lackluster. I don't want to say that again.
No, but
just something about it feels very bizarre, and that's why I would not be surprised if we're sitting here saying, "Oh my gosh, that guy made it all the way to XYZ."
The way I see it, though, is that Will McClay is the kind of guy that will find you. He's the kind of guy that finds those diamonds in the rough. If it's rougher to find those diamonds with lesser talent, he'll still find some of that talent. You know what I mean? So. And by the way, as you can see, I posted it already. You guys, baby, what? Did you see it? Did you guys see it? Okay,
it did show up here.
So again, I want to.
Here, I guess let me go ahead and take a second to read it out loud. So yes, for the second round, guys, the 4 options are wide receiver Jalen Hyatt.
How the hell did he fall? He to me was a top second rounder at the least. But he fell.
That, like I said, I would not be surprised at the way some of these drafts go. And again, receiver wise, it's a little weird. So,
These are the top 4 picks.
The other one is tight end Darnell Washington. So now again, we obviously didn't go with Meyer in the first round. Right. So a very viable option here. I think something maybe people might feel a little more comfortable with. Right? Defensive tackle Mazi Smith.
Mazi Smith, and again, he's one of my favorites. I said he could be a mid-second round guy. He's dropped to us. Another guy who I think is a phenomenal. I see Keanu Benton a little bit lower on the list. He might get to the 3rd round. So there's an option for him later. For another guy, if we don't go Mazi right now.
And last but certainly not least, cornerback Emmanuel Forbes.
He's a guy that all these guys the Cowboys like. That's number 1. Number 2, these are the top 4 guys the Cowboys like on this list. Listen, you got other guys the Cowboys like in the mix here. Linebacker from Arkansas, Drew Sanders. I know J.L. Skinner from Boise State. He's the guy the Cowboys like. So there's a lot of guys there on that side of things. You look at, you can go with Luke Musgrave. Yeah. Now, Steve Avila is still available. But we drafted an offensive lineman already. So I did not include him on the list.
Is coming through. He added a $3 holler.
Mark's first appearance of the night here.
Much love. And he said,
man, hanging on.
Washington is more intriguing, but Mazi is a huge need and is a good enough player that he's not like a reach. I don't think he'll last till 56. So I'll go ahead and I assume.
58, right? 58? Is it 58 or 56 for him?
I thought we were 56.
Okay, maybe I was wrong then.
No, I guess 26 and 20.
I'm not sure how that goes. Look, I thought we were 56. I'll check it here.
Please don't ask me to.
Here, I'm looking. I can look right here. Hold on.
I thought we were
58.
58. Okay, sorry.
58 pick.
So 58. So real quick, Mr. Mark Hovsepian, much love. By the way, somehow he's still holding on by a thread there with 10 points on the stream boss.
10 points on the stream boss.
But since he did drop that 3, I'm going to add those 2 votes to Mazi. Right? Since that's the name that he mentioned. Votes.
Yeah, let me
why don't you go ahead and kind of break down how we're doing this real quick since we do have some
again, and I also want to shout out the man Jason Renfro.
Yes, because he has some votes as well.
Yeah, Rashee Rice. Another addition here. Although, listen, he's on this list a little bit deeper. I'm going to save that for the 3rd round.
Okay.
For Mr. Renfro, because I'm sure he will be there. Unless you want me to put it here, let me know, Jason. I have a good.
I think it might be better spent in the 3rd round, I imagine.
Yeah, I'm going to assume that, but it's up to him. If he wants to put it here, he has that right. Will it make a difference? I don't know. Now, I will say this. By the way, Jason Renfro, he did drop 2 more $3. Let me just make sure of this.
Ooh.
He just dropped 2 more $3 hollers. So let us know. He said for Rice. So I'm assuming he's... so you want it for this round. Just want to confirm that.
Well, he just kept saying, I got my vote for Rice.
All right, so then that's 1, 2, 3... That's 2, 4, 6 votes for Rashee Rice, wide receiver. So much love to Jason Renfro on that side. He's in the Cash App. And we got Marco Sepian's vote for Mazi Smith. Again, I haven't voted yet because I just put him up. So I have to go into my thing here and vote. But I think I know who I know I'm going to vote for. So let me take a look at this. Again, those are the 4 guys available. Not to be anybody in that list. Why can't I get up on my side?
Let me go ahead and try that out since we do have some new commands. Let's see if it actually works. Yay, it does work. Yay. Perfect. So,
which is
there we go.
The info. And by the way, I'm not sure how you guys getting the votes up again? Are you guys able to do that? Because I'm having trouble on my side to get the votes up again. But
here, let me... it's just because once I do it, I just
how do you do it?
Close
like
it
you have
out.
to close it all the way out and come back in?
Yeah, that's the easiest.
Okay.
Sorry, that's how I usually do it, so I can get it back up on my screen.
Sorry, guys. Sorry for this is live. This is live draft on again. That the votes are up. You guys can vote. If no one sways it anyway, we're gonna go off of those votes.
And remember, if there's remember we still have a few more rounds to go, and there's gonna be some names.
I do want to talk about some of the guys that have been drafted and some guys that are still available out there. But give me a moment.
So
let
me go ahead and start hitting up the chat because I already see obviously some commentary as far as some of the guys that we've posted here. So
not coming up, man. That's crazy.
Let me see.
Weird. All right.
So, by the way, rolling back a little bit, because Daryl Lowe did say, you say trend, but Sam Williams and Diggs are 2 out of our last 3 second-round picks.
Yeah, I know. And again...
that's fair, very fair point. And like I said, that's the type of trend I want to continue to see. Because, like I said, before them, it was just... It's more about the fact that we tend to depend on our second round picks to do a lot for us, and they didn't just do we're middling, they sucked really bad.
Well, this past year, Sam Williams did not get a lot of opportunities this last year, right? He actually got we kind of leading along kind of almost the right way in a way.
Honestly, whether he did or didn't, it's more about the fact that he actually looked really freaking good. So thank
Mark
you so much, by the way, Mark Hosepian with a $3 holler there, throwing out there what were the choices in the first round. I got you, Mark, real quick. So they were Bijan Robinson, Darnell Wright, Michael Mayer, and Zay Flowers. And the vote ended up going with Snug X's help there.
Well, no. Well, the chat went with Bijan Robinson, but Snug dropped again. As you can see, there's different ways of. I kind of went through it earlier. The voting guide here.
Snug dropped Sean Lee dropped there
the 50, and he got the awarded the pick, which he gave to Thomas Garrett, and he picked Darnell Wright, Tennessee offensive tackle, offensive lineman. Really, he could play left guard, not left tackle. He could left guard or right tackle. And he's fantastic, phenomenal at right tackle. So he's a guy that I think with the versatility, I actually voted for him as well. I'm glad I made my vote. I have one vote, but you guys are the ones kind of leading this thing. So, that's we've got an offensive lineman. Hence why Steve Avila is out there. You want to go power up on Steve Avila, you guys can make that vote go through. But again, the way you do that is here. A $3 drop, as you just saw Mark drop the second $3 holler. I'm assuming that's going to Mozzie. So Mozzie gets a bonus 4 more votes off of his 3 and 3. If you drop a 5 on it, you get 5 votes. If you drop a 10 on it, like you saw Snug X earlier, you get 12 votes. The 50, you make the decision on this draft pick. So that's the way we're doing it per round. And again, you see the 4 best options. And I'm picking them from what I believe. That Steve Avila is there, and the Cowboys are interested in him. But we just got Darnell Wright. It doesn't make. I don't think we're going to go back-to-back offensive linemen. So
now, let me go ahead and keep. Like I said, let me hit up the chat real quick. Let me see. First of all, Daryl also had in there. All 4 picks are good. So
I agree. I love Darnell Washington.
The Reaper said Mozzie Smith looks good, but it's what game you watch. Sometimes he's like jogging and not caring, but if it's a big game and he wants to play, he'll play. Scorpio throwing out there, I'd go for Washington since we lost Schultz, but it's some tough choices here.
But they're good choices. They're
good,
right?
I voted Hyatt, but I would be okay with Smith as well.
See, and I think after Hyatt, you got to drop off of receivers here, but you do have Bright. What's his name? His pick, Rashee Rice, right? He might be around 3rd round.
The Lunatic saying Mozzie and Avila had a battle in their matchup, but the front office doesn't value the defensive tackle as high.
And I'm thinking they would risk going with Keanu Benton, possibly who get to the 3rd round, than going for Mozzie now.
Reach for
And I don't think it's a reach. This is a good pick for Mozzie. It's just that they just don't have the interest in that position.
But in Cowboy land, that's a reach. So
you said it.
Let me see.
And the Jones is Cowboy land.
Let me see. Pick and Pop saying Hyatt's a top 3 receiver in this draft.
I can't believe he dropped that far. And again, there's some ups and downs with him. Some people are saying he's 1st round. Some people are saying he's 3rd round. There's no way I let him go past this round if I'm the Cowboys. But
I think this round, at least the pick for this round, might possibly be in. If I'm not mistaken.
Let's get what's the leaderboard looking like right now.
True. So let me close this out. Hop back in here and see which pick so far is leading the pack.
Because I'm stuck between Mozzie Smith, Darnell Washington. That's where I'm more or less at.
Oh, this is actually kind of tricky here.
Holy shit! Wait, what is that? Is that right? $87 holler. Holy shit, Mark is back in this thing. And
I know, but I think we have a bit of a...
We got to have the runoff here.
A thing going on here.
Real quick. Hold on, Mark.
So, Mark, I'm going to read your comment here in just a second. Let me see.
When you told me that, I just looked to the right, and I got another $50 holler from the man Snug X, who... They dropped on my side visually at the same exact time. That's a tie. I don't think Snug cares, though. So I want to know who.
But he gave it to Scorpio, who did
say
that he wanted.
I didn't know what happened.
Darnell Washington.
Okay, hold on.
That's why I said we have a bit of a situation.
So hold on, Snug X, who by the way is still in 1st place on the Cash App and the overall board, but he ain't that far now as far as he was before. Well, he's got 13 up, I guess, on him since the night started. So you're actually Snug X is still 13 up higher than he was on Mark Hosepian before the night started, but Mark also dropped a little bit, so it's about 7 up. The point is, Snug X is still in 1st place with a $50 holler. Another one, which would obviously end this, but with a tie, baby, how should we handle this?
So
Scorpio wants Darnell Washington.
I'm going to,
and Mozzie Smith.
I'm going to let the chat decide.
How about if I just redo it, just the two, and then just vote it out?
I mean, that's not a bad idea.
Okay,
and that's what I was actually going to say. Let's read what the chat voted so far, because if we went off of that real quick.
Let's hear it.
So the
Darnell
guy
Washington.
who's leading it so far is Darnell Washington, which, by the way, I do kind of have to throw this out there. That was my pick.
Really?
No surprises here. I did pick tight end in the first round. We didn't get it. So I'm like, okay, so we kind of have to go here. And again, to me, this fulfills the same exact parameters as I was saying before. It doesn't feel like a reach. It feels, honestly, like a pretty solid freaking pick there. On top of that, it's a position of need, and not just any position of need. Like, basically the last big hole that's left
on the
offensively. And I feel much more comfortable,
right.
I think, and I think most people would too, investing a second-round pick into a tight end, that could, play a bigger role on the team, but also still have kind of a more supportive role with the rest of the guys that are on there. You know what I mean? So I feel like it ticks off a lot of boxes because, again, even if we somehow didn't draft one now, we waited a little longer, what kind of a free agent or whatever, like, whatever we get now, like, that's it for tight end in my mind. So to me, it is worth trying to invest a higher valued pick here. And I have nothing against Mozzie Smith.
He has some back end first, high second round value. So being at the end of the second round, it is value on Darnell Washington. But Mozzie Smith to me is a guy
throwing this out there. I would not be mad at any of these other picks. You guys all pointed out Hyatt is such a high valued receiver. I would jump on that in a heartbeat.
There's a couple others left
Emmanuel
in this draft.
Forbes again, super talented. I would feel great getting another.
The scary thing about him is he's too skinny right now. Even though he's unbelievable, he meets everything. He meets everything Dan Quinn wants in the corner. Look, but I don't think we need the corner right now.
That's my whole point. He has time to put on the 15, 20 pounds or whatever that we want him to. Mozzie Smith, the only reason it's not that I wouldn't want him, it's that I am not sure if the Cowboys would, again, value the defensive tackle position enough to get him when some of these other guys are still available. That's my only thing that makes me go, like, I don't know. Because honestly, I still don't think you can go wrong there. I will say, some of your comments about like him being maybe a little bit lazy or whatever, so. By
the way, you have all the votes. Is that all the votes? By the way, was that all the vote count so far?
So real quick, Mike Aldana did say you had to give it to the $87 drop there, though.
I can't disagree with that. He did beat him out. It was a tie, so I guess the tie does go to the bigger drop. I mean, that's really the fair thing. No,
so,
I mean, hey,
that's why I said I wanted you guys to decide. So
I think maybe Snug X had a little bit of a because I didn't see it as you had known it before I did.
Yeah.
So I think he dropped it first. That's why I'm kind of like, I'm torn. I just want to have a runoff almost, But
look, how about this? Regardless, we'll go ahead and put it up to the vote. But if you do, that's what I'm saying. Like, I still want to kind of see if down to those last no, or are we going to go ahead and just move on to the third round?
No, I mean, we're going to make the pick. We're going to make the pick. That's it. I mean, if it goes to the 87, then I mean, what do you guys think? I'll leave it to the chat to tell me what you think. I'm setting up the third round right now.
Let me see.
As I already.
All right, so Dulinsic said 87 gets the second round pick, and then Snugs 50 gets the third round pick.
I like. Okay, all right. We're good
so
with
you know what? I think that is the fairest way to do it. So that would mean the second round pick goes to Mozzie Smith.
Marco Sepien and
right.
Mozzie
So one
Smith,
last time, Mark. I'm gonna go back and read the comment of the drop that you dropped earlier, which we didn't get to read because I just realized now.
What happened? I missed it, baby. Oh wait, what? Wait, bro, you're dropping it too fast, brother. Holy shit! But that really is that? Wait, what? I mean, how is Mark have 1
because
he
dropped 99.
Oh my god! Wait, what? What the fuck? You guys are blowing me out of my mind here.
And I didn't even get to read the previous comment, but SnugX did say I simped for MCW there. so there you go.
Shit.
That's
all right. We're gonna have a battle going on.
You did break us a little bit.
This is a broken MCF tonight here, but I just saw something here from Mr. Jason Renfro.
There you go. So let me go ahead and read Mark's comment first. Wait, where'd it go? Did I lose it? I just had it. Can I
say Jason Renfro dropped a $3 holler here? We know it's going to Rashee Rice, although we might have to take a rain check on that. Hold on. Because then Jason Renfro dropped a $50 holler in the Cash App and said, overshown in the third round. And hey, I looked at the list. Overshown is looking like a fourth rounder in this thing here, but I will keep that in mind. Again, Jason Renfro can he have that pick? I mean, we can go this how you like, guys. how you'd like to do
okay,
this.
first let me go ahead and read Mark's comment.
Yeah, go ahead.
And then we'll figure out that situation. Because I know we kind of vaguely talked about it behind the scenes, but we're both like,
I gotta fix all everything.
It's not really gonna happen, so we didn't really talk about it past that.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not even joking, guys. We literally were like, "Well, what happens if this happens?" I'm like, I would say
it'd be a quick stream, but
okay.
But now Jason Renfro in the mix here. Now he's second place, right? I think second place on the overall.
Yeah, and yes, guys,
third place on the overall.
Regardless of whatever we do, we are still gonna do the.
Oh yeah, we're drafting it out.
We want to know what you guys, because we're
trying to get it accurate.
We're going to not just that, but I'm hoping at the end to do something like a. Like kind of compare what the overall votes were, also compared to what was actually ended up picked, just because honestly, there's a lot of crossover in some of those, but not every single one of those. But Mark did say, Mozzie, I win. You think realistically he'll be there, and that's why we needed to trade down and then trade up to go do everything, and then just have three high value second round picks.
And that's what I'm trying to say. I think trading down would have been good. I think Mozzie would have been even a reach. In some places, I'm hearing early in the second round is still a reach. That's why I said middle round. Middle second is about where you want them, and we're at the end of the middle, right?
And that's what Mark's trying to say. If we had 3 second round picks, you don't necessarily have to use the first one on Mozzie. You can use the second or the third one on Mozzie, depending on how that shakes out. But the point is, one of those 3 goes to him. And then the other ones go to some of these other positions that we even mentioned now. Right,
exactly. So, and I'm agreeing 100% with that. Look, O-lineman, Darnell.
Yeah, Scorpio, by the way, still gets his pick.
Okay, hold on. So second round is Mozzie? Is that what we're going to?
Yes. Let me go ahead and screenshot this as well. There, sorry. I'm screenshotting when you close the poll.
Okay, you got it? Okay.
Yeah, I got that.
And now we're in the third round, which I know we have some picks to divvy out here. Jason Renfro in the mix now. I mean, look, I'm trying to put these guys in here, but I don't know how you want me to do this, guys. Like the third round, do you want me to put the vote up and the poll?
We still put up the poll.
Okay. So
as far
my question is,
still available.
Who's going to be the pick here? It's kind of like what I'm kind of trying to figure out. So, I'm picking Mozzie right now, and then I'll let you know what is available. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes.
No. Yes.
So we give Mr. MCF a second here, real quick. Let me filibuster for a second here. Remind everybody to take a second to hit like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you haven't already. Of course, you guys can follow us pretty much on all social media at MyCowboysFamily. So, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook,
all them things.
I don't think I'm missing any. Of course, thank you to everybody here hanging with us, dropping their comments in the chat, letting us know what you think. Like we said, we really do rely on you guys when it comes to a lot of these draft situations and things like that. So sharing your thoughts, your knowledge here, really can't thank you guys enough. And of course, yes, obviously skewing the votes in a certain direction.
So we got the 2 in. I'm making Mozzie as the pick here.
Ooh, good night, Skeptical fan. Much love. Take it easy.
Skeptical's out. Oh man, much love, brother. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so I'm glad you're able to participate at least in these first 2 rounds and share your thoughts. And hopefully, when you rewatch the stream later, if you get the chance, let us know what you think about your thoughts for the rest of the rounds. And anybody watching it on the replay, let us know what you guys think.
And Mark just dropped another $99. That was matching Snug right there. He's back to 100 with that drop. What the hell's going on? Mark, Snug, Jason, in the mix.
I pick Tony Romo.
Tony Romo. He wants that 9 in a row. And I'm going to have to go backstage.
When is the draft? So the first night of the draft is next
29th,
Thursday. So not this upcoming Thursday, but following Thursday.
27th, 28th, and 29th.
Yes, April 27th, 28th, 29th. I believe the first night starts at 8 p.m. Eastern. So 8 p.m. Eastern. Adjust for your time zone accordingly. I want to say that the next rounds start at 7. That's usually how it goes. I
7 or 8 is usually...
That's what I'm saying. I obviously will let you guys know as soon as we know, but usually the way they do it is the first night starts a little later at 8 o'clock, and it's obviously a big deal. And then the following nights do start at 7, and then it kind of goes from there. So now where do we
we're maybe... I'm going to read out some of the guys that were taken already.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and drop the poll for the third round?
I got to get... First, I wanted to say some in the second round that were taken. All right, just some names. There was... Isaiah Foskey, early second. Josh Downs, Cedric Tillman, Dewad Jones. Osiris Torrance went in 36th. You got Will McDonald, a guy at Cowboys at 41. Trenton Simpson, a guy at Cowboys interested in Clemson, 42, 42nd pick there. You have we have Michael Mayer. Well, he was around. We never picked him.
We got some requests to maybe just kind of get to our picks in the chat. By the way,
our picks,
like the picks that we want to pick here in the chat.
Oh shit! What is this on the stream boss? By the way, SnugX is not giving up. He's gonna break that streak. He's gonna break that. He's trying to break the Mark streak.
He said sent because MCW. So let me try to.
I'm trying.
I don't even know how we're gonna do these picks anymore. So baby, just drop the guys that we have on our list. And available.
Sorry, I apologize. I'm just all right. So, anyways, Cansey's off.
People can start voting.
I know. I'm just going through this. I'm going through this. Saiki. I didn't say his name right. From Baylor, Ika. He's off the board. Of course, after I made the pick of Mozzie Smith, Emmanuel Forbes went off the board. J.L. Skinner went off the board. Trust me. I'm trying to get to it. Steve Avila went off the board. Eli Ricks went off the board. So I'm just going to A.T. Perry went off the board. So who is left now? And who do you want to pick? Because again, now I gotta. I don't have to do it. I think it's gonna be like a little $3 drop.
You're not moving fast enough for this.
I'm sorry.
This
I'm
stream
sorry.
right
All right,
now.
you take over. Mark,
at this time, I'm gonna take over the keyboard.
Mark and Snug took over this stream.
Thank you, Mark.
This is the Mark and Snug.
Mrs. MCF.
This is the Mark and Snug X draft, and the MCF family, of course. You guys, I'm gonna pick one other guy here, and I'm just gonna do it. All right, I promise.
So now the one argument, by the way, because remember how earlier I said that one of the reasons I wasn't sure about Mozzie in the second round was do the Cowboys value Mozzie in the second round? Lou Santos is making the argument, yes. Actually, Dan Quinn, he said Dak Quinn. I like that. But Dan Quinn has a lot of say in the Cowboys draft the last couple of years. If Quinn wants a defensive tackle, I seriously doubt that Jerry and Steven would say no.
I think at this point, I agree. I agree. I think the Joneses now trust him.
It's not like he's asking for a first-round pick. Just throwing that out there, too.
All right, here it is.
I think the Cowboys would be much more willing to listen to Dan Quinn on a second-round pick that already feels like a bit of a reach type of situation.
It's not even real to me right now. It doesn't even feel real. It feels, oh man. Did he just say simping?
I know pimping ain't easy, but apparently simping ain't easy as well.
I don't know what to say, man.
I don't think I've ever seen a stream boss hold on by
I've never
so
seen
much
this.
and so little.
This is definitely a first. I've never seen something like this happen. And you guys broke
usually, like I said, we're talking a lot more for these streams. I feel a little bit...
I had a little news, but there's no news tonight. They'll be starting the news tomorrow.
The news is that the vote is in the poll there for vote. So give me a second, because I'm not sure which direction I want to vote in.
Okay, so what is the poll?
So actually, let's go over our two
And any comments? You read the comments already.
Right, so the first pick was...
Sorry, go ahead.
Was
it's on the bottom of your screen.
Darnell Wright.
Darnell Wright, offensive lineman.
Yeah, second round pick was Mozzie
Interior defensive lineman, 1 tech. Again, love it. We're working with the trenches. Trenches are trenched up right now. So we love that.
To me, you know what?
So when you look at these picks, give us the third round left, because we got to pump up some votes for Jason Renfro, because Rashee Rice is one of them. What are the three? You took it away?
Yeah, sorry, I did. Sorry, because I voted.
You voted. I know. I didn't even get to vote.
I know. I closed it out. But real quick, guys, the 4 names up here available to vote.
Voted out.
Wide receiver Rashee Rice.
Which again, Jason Renfro has an advantage already. He's got about 10 votes already there. I'm going to just go 10 votes for Jason Renfro with the drops. He's plus the 50 went for Overshown, though, who's also on this. Technically, Jason Renfro would get Overshown on this round.
Yeah.
So, I'm just saying, but keep it going. I want to know what you guys think.
Running back, Zach Evans.
Oh,
Linebacker, DeMarvion Overshown. And tight end, Sam Laporta.
And the Cowboys are interested in Sam Laporta. But this is the last guy you get before you fall into a lot deep. You got to go real. Now you go on tight end. He's not going to be starting anytime. We're not going to really have that starting flavor as much. From the guys left on this list, nonetheless, still better than Ferguson. According to every analyst out there, there's about 9 guys in front of Ferguson in this draft. So, Laporta's one of those guys. The Cowboys like him. He's a third-round target. He's here and available in the third round.
I told Mr. MCF he looks like Jason Garrett in this shirt. So, because they said that it's your wonderful Dallas Cowboy cap and your smart business attire that is, inspiring.
I treat this like a front office, delusion for a minute. Just I'm pretending we're front office running the Cowboys. It's a great dream, isn't it? Oh, and Mark once again strikes again with that $99 holler and back to 100 points on the stream boss. It doesn't even feel real, but I do know right now the real deal is SnugX is still winning. I think that.
I was gonna say I hope you're keeping track because I am not keeping track. So, but MyCowboysFamily, much love with his drop, said, "Let's make the mortgage. I have a 15-week record, and more importantly, a high limit on this credit card."
Listen, you guys really do get the votes. If you guys want anybody specifically, let us know, and we will make the vote in our actual like picks, right? But for this, we're gonna let the fans kind of go for like 5-10 minutes, vote it out, and then we'll just see who you guys pick.
Not really sure what cornerbacks are available in the fourth round. Honestly,
round, we're in third right now.
I got lost somewhere in the second round.
Third round: Jalen Jones, Kai Blue Kelly, Jatavius Martin, Darius Rush, but the Cowboys aren't as high on him for whatever reason. I like him. Tre'Vius Hodges Tomlinson, the Cowboys love him. So he's
a much later.
But these are fourth round, third to fourth round guys. Tre'Vius, that guy's a fourth rounder at the latest. Overshown is there at linebacker. At edge, Isaiah Land. These guys are just not that good. Interior,
and guys, like you said,
I will say for the next round, Jacqueline Roy is a defensive tackle, but we got Mozzie. So there's not another need for defensive tackle inside, right?
Yeah.
So we can
and like we said, guys, we're gonna post both versions of the draft as far as what was the most highly voted in the chat, and of course what was selected by the selectors here. Yes,
the guy who's driving this thing. Jason Renfro has a little tidbit of this, but SnugX, Marco Seppian, they're running the show. This could be a record tonight.
I was gonna say I have a feeling that outside of one night in 2020.
Yeah, that was one night that went crazy in the COVID years.
Yeah, outside of that, I don't think we've ever had.
Maybe it's getting close to that record. I'm telling you right now, it's getting close. It's getting close. I can't even do the calculations. I don't have no idea where we're at, but I do know that we're getting close to the all-time record in the history of my Cowboys.
Yeah, we also, again, Jason Renfro, we also did not think it was going to be this. Like we said, we did not plan for this contingency.
We did not plan for this. I'm being real. I'm looking here because Jason Renfro, he wants Overshown in the third round. I want to know what SnugX and Hooks Up have to say.
So I'm still with Mark. I have not seen what he had to say as far as the third round.
Okay.
I think Scorpio, I'm waiting to see what he had to say, but I'm reading Scorpio's comment because he, once again, voted with... We seem to have a similar mindset here as far as drafting, because he said, I like Rashee Rice. He's got sticky hands like his dad, Jerry Rice. He'd never make it to the fourth, so right now is where I'd have to take
That's the key. So you want, again, you got a little lead here from Jason Renfro. Let's be real. He's pumped out. What are the votes at right now? Because to me, Jason Renfro's Rashee Rice or Overshown.
Yeah, Jason definitely added quite a few votes to that, but obviously not sure exactly which direction.
Oh my God, another one. Going for the record, I guess. Man, Marco Seppian.
Oh my goodness.
It's another 9-9.
Said back at you. LOL, this is better than Vegas, and it's all for Mrs. MCF. She's way prettier than you, Mr. MCF.
Oh, shit. You think this is for me? I know why.
I don't know. Loosen up a button or two and make something happen here.
Actually,
guys, I'm not going to lie. The only reason you're even seeing one of these old school throwback Cowboy shirts, I still have to wash all the jerseys, and because those have to be hand washed and
she's the hand washer on the jerseys. I do the other stuff.
It's just really annoying. And so I just haven't gotten to it yet. Like they're all just sitting they're all just sitting in the bucket of shame there in the laundry room, just like waiting for me to get to it at some point.
We'll get to it.
And I've cycled through all my other Cowboy shirts, and I'm getting to it, and I was like, shit, I don't I'm either gonna rewear the shirt I already wore. It's clean. I'm just like, well, no, let me find. So I just went back into my plethora of Cowboy shirts,
and you found the special. When you put it on my, baby, I'm drafting you. That's what I'm drafting.
I'm your first round.
I'm first, always. And there's no mock draft. This is.
I promise you're in my projected top 10.
Whoa! And I get kicked in the nuts as SnugX drops the 9-9 on our heads.
Oh, much love, Snug. Appreciate you.
I don't know what to say, baby.
Look, you don't know what the draft is going to bring you, so I made my best selection.
Oh, well, thank you for drafting me. That's really what it is. Yes. You drafted me. I didn't draft shit. You drafted me. That's the truth.
Oh my goodness!
Snug strikes again to one. Again, at any moment, someone could take that dollar drop away from Mark. But we know that there's always something like it. Oh man, it's a crazy situation.
So
I'm gonna just let you to handle this. What was said from Snug? I missed it. What did he say?
I missed it too. Honestly, like I said, I missed it too. I can't even get to it. Give me a second.
I'll check the votes in a little bit here. I made my vote.
I can't even make my phone.
Oh man.
Okay, am I the only one that does not like I don't have the rotation set on my phone. I have to manually
you're the only one,
unlock it to make it work.
Oh boy. Another one, baby.
He said, Snug X better not be your daughter on another computer.
That's why I'm like,
the kids are definitely in bed.
Oh wait, are you talking about us? That is us? No, no, trust me. That doesn't even seem real. I'm being real about that. I don't know how to say.
Yeah,
I'm mind blown. And again, another
99. Neither one of our kids has access to. I think Snug X or Marco Seppian type of money, in that sense. So.
Yeah. I think I want to know what they want. We just talk about them too, and how about give Jason a run for this round, and you guys can take the other fucking round.
I mean, so my question is though, because Jason, I know you said in the third round you wanted Overshown,
but there's two guys.
But you had Rashee Rice rated as your favorite guy in the earlier rounds, and we didn't go there. So out of those two, you got to pick one.
Give me the four names again. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Well, I gotta.
I know. I'm sorry.
You're good.
But I know. I love Mark. Not Mark, but I love Zach Evans. I love this running back. But he will not be here in the fourth round on this mock draft. So
I mean, I want Rashee Rice. I finally got tired of picking tight ends for them to not get picked.
We need another receiver in this mix. We haven't picked one yet. So if you're gonna get a receiver, this is your last chance to get a. There is Tank Dell later on the list, and a couple other guys. I wouldn't go much farther than that. So to me, if you don't go Rashee Rice here, you maybe have one more chance for another guy in the fourth, and that's it. At receiver, it's important. Tight end, I agree with you. At this point, I don't even know if I feel good with this guy. Even the Cowboys are interested in him, but we have to put him up. He's one of the top guys on this list the Cowboys are interested in. DeMarvion Overshown, who's a former safety at Texas. Former safety at Texas, going to play linebacker in the NFL like J-Ron Curse. If you want your J-Ron Curse replacement for the future, it's Overshown. You want your Snug X? He's here in the house. Another $99 holler. And taking Mark down to the one on it. I don't know how this has been going on. I've never seen this back and forth. This is a workout here.
I just every time it gets down to one, I'm just how is it still there?
It's like they're balancing on a tightrope. On a tightrope, they're balancing.
Oh, here, guys.
They're trying to shake each other. Are we seeing a break here? Mark dropped the 50 here, and he's saying.
You can take it, Brother Snug. It's going to be flute time for me soon.
Oh, shit. I'm sorry. You guys are making us cry tonight and shaking us up a little bit. So, thank you, Mark. Hope Sapien doing your thing here. How did he get back to the full 100 on that when he was down to one?
I think even the stream boss just gave it to him.
I think the stream boss is broken. I
think we broke it.
But Mark is back to 100 points, and he's like, the streak is broken. All right. Well, you guys got to tell us who you want. So I want to know who they want. And really, it comes down to who they want at this point, not who's left. Who they want, and we'll put them out there for them. The two picks, and then people can vote for them. I don't know.
There. So, yeah, I think Jason Renfro, I did see you comment in the chat there. So, real quick, Jason, let us know.
Yeah. Let us know.
Rice or Overshown.
Yeah. I'm good with either
every
one.
Every time I see his name, I want to say Overblown. And it's not.
Oh, man. Yeah, well,
I promise it's just
Overshown's a former safety at Texas. Now he's a converted linebacker in the NFL. But it reminds me of either Jabril Cox, but more of a hard hitter, stopper kind of guy like J-Ron Curse. So to me, he's more of a J-Ron Curse kind of guy, going from safety to linebacker, but actually going to play linebacker full time in the NFL. That's the plan. So the Cowboys very interested in him. And again, a guy that's on this list right now in the third round with Rashee Rice at receiver, which to me are my top two picks here. I'm with Jason Renfro on both of these guys. I take one over the running back because there's so many running backs still left that are talented.
I keep seeing a few people mention Pitts in the fourth round would be good as well. Who was it again?
Let me see. Let me see if he's available.
Or was it?
But what position?
Pitt running back?
Oh, the Pittsburgh running back? Yeah. Let me see here.
Not Pitts, probably Pittsburgh running back.
Yeah, I know. I think he might be off the list. He might have just been drafted.
Yeah, Pitts running back.
I wish I had a name. I would let you know.
I'm almost scared to look at the screen now.
Wait, what? Mark? Oh, no. Wait, what? What did he say? I'm lost, Mark. What happened?
He just dropped
they put a hold
a $99 holler.
Another
and he said,
one. Oh, my God.
Here, let me read it properly for posterity. He said, is that better? Someone said only 50. Tell those dicks to put a hold on your account to kiss my ass.
I agree with him on that. Hey. But I'm just speechless here first. I just don't know if I have this right now. I think that
it literally looks like you just got drunk and started like writing the same number over and over again. Like you forgot how many Israel Pitts, I'm guessing is his name. Thank you for that. The Reaper.
I don't know who's gonna win this thing.
Also was
I'm
the
confused.
comment that actually Mark was responding to.
Okay.
Israel Abanikanda.
Oh yeah,
he's.
I think he's
as
off the board.
As soon as you mentioned that name, I was like, oh, I recall him.
Yeah, he
actually was drafted by the Saints
at pick 71 in the third round. So
and where do we draft in the?
We draft.
We're so he was drafted in the middle.
We're at 90 right now. Did I ever put the spot we're at here? Damn it! I think I made a mistake on that. Let me see. Yeah, I put pick 58. We're not pick 58. pick 71 was where you would have seen him at. Available. We didn't pick him. That would have been too early, I think, for the Cowboys. They're not drafting a second round running back, but a third round, fourth round running back is when you want to look. So he's off the board, unfortunately. So he was picked at 71, but we are at 90. I'm sorry, it says 58 in the chat. At pick 90, who you'll take out of these guys? And again,
that obviously would have been a very nice pick had he fallen to us there.
Yes, exactly. So let's make this done. I should close it out and see what's the deal here. I mean, I don't know. We got over 20 votes already in there.
Yeah, and again, guys, that's why I said sometimes these drafts go very, very differently because I've definitely seen a few simulations, draft simulations I should be more specific with, where I've seen, some guys that I saw pick way earlier.
Yeah, it's
and,
a lot of
and even now, some
here.
of the names we're talking about, I'm still kind of like, are you sure they're really going to fall? But they're there they are, so... I don't know. This draft feels very predictable and at the same time very up in the air. I think that Mr. MCF and I have gotten relatively good at least figuring out some of the positions or key guys that the Cowboys could target. I know last year's draft, actually, outside of, I think the first round pick, we actually did pretty solid.
We were there. We were
not bad. So... I'm just trying to say that I don't think there's a right or wrong answer because I don't think it is about right or wrong. It's just what do we want? What do we think the Cowboys will do? And this draft, it's not about what we think the Cowboys will do. It's about what we want. That's why I just want to make that clear too because what I want to see the Cowboys do is very different than what I think they will probably end up doing. One thing I'll throw out there too is if Bijan is available, like I said, I have a hard time.
Cowboys, do you think Jerry Jones is going to pull the trigger?
I don't see how the Cowboys don't get him in a way. So already that would he would have actually agreed with you guys here in the chat as far as the fandom.
Yeah,
even though the right pick was relatively close to Bijan, it wasn't like it was too far off either. But still, but seriously. Huge shout out. Appreciate you guys here. Real quick, let me read how these votes are going so far because with 33% of the votes, Rashee Rice is winning in that round. And,
I'm closing it off at this point. I'm saying, but just you can read them out from here.
So it's all right. 25% of votes did go to Zach Evans, 20% and 20% equally to DeMarvion Overshown and Sam Laporta.
Interesting little. But when you throw in Rashee Rice, of course, that throws him. He's the pick. Unless Jason Renfro wants Overshown. You got to figure it out.
Which, again, I haven't seen any comments here from Jason. So, as of now, I'm assuming that we'll have to go with Scorpio's initial choice of Rashee Rice. Scorpio, if you have a different decision, let me know. Or Mark, if you have a different decision, let me know as well. Right?
But that would go down that would be the Jason Renfro pick there. If Overshown is available in the next round, we will definitely keep an eye out for him.
I agree.
He's one of the better picks left right now, so
that's why I think it's unlikely that it goes that way.
Me too, but
Scorpio did say I like Rice. I love Rice.
So Rashee Rice, wide receiver, officially picked here at 90 for the Cowboys with this MCF kind of styled draft here. The first specifically the first of this kind. Man, it is crazy here. So let's get it going. I'm gonna start another poll here, baby. I don't know if you want to hit the chat. Maybe get some
The
answers.
Reaper saying is Pace Jr. still there also?
Oh, I think he was there, but we made this pick. I think he was. Yeah, he is there. and he'd be a value pick for linebacker, but he is now. We got to look at the 4th round. So let me make this pick. Okay. Are we making this pick official?
Yeah, just again, still throwing it out there. Yes, he was available at that spot.
Yes,
there.
Yes, he was.
So again, we lots of tough choices just overall when it comes to draft stuff too. I have to admit.
I agree for sure.
Let me see. Thank you, Retro Scotty. Take it easy. Much love.
Retro.
Let us know, guys. Again, if you do have to head out, once the stream is over, or whatever, in the comments section, just kind of drop some of the guys that you would like to see in some of these later picks or things like that, and obviously see how closely it matches up to, either the direction the chat went with or the direction that the actual final pick was made in, or however it ends up
working. How you guys feel about it? I mean, we don't agree on these. Lost
in Translation also wanted Pace Jr. By the way, there's some love in the chat for him there.
I know. It's just that it's hard to get everybody, obviously, right?
And honestly, guys, I'm sure we'll do at least one more mock draft, before the draft. So,
we have another. I thought we only had 1 week. We have a week and a half, so we'll get that in there.
Yeah, we'll squeeze another one.
I'm squeezing his 4th round on the top guys left. So let me do that, baby, and I will. And you can kind of talk in the chat and see what's going on there. So
real quick, let me see. The Reaper also throwing out there. God. There's so many running backs in this draft that are great. Again.
Oh, you guys are gonna love this one. What I just
there you go. Perfect timing then.
You said running backs, and the first guy on the list. Well, I guess the second guy, because the first guy is gonna make someone named Jason Renfro very happy. But it's not just. You'll see. Just keep it going.
So, and again, guys, huge shout out to everybody here chilling, hanging with us.
Yes. Hit that like.
Hopefully, we'll be getting back into the more regular MCF swing of things after the draft, with the memberships and the emojis and all that other kind of fun stuff here. And if not, then, I don't know. There's going to be a lot more drinking streams.
We can't do those, remember?
Oh, I know. We can't do those. Actually, although Mr. MCF might be doing some of that in a later
in the Mosh stream afterwards. You want to see some drinking, there you go. We might have a little party after this.
Jason Renfro, we're checking out right now. I'm not sure if Overshown is still there. The draft
the answer, we got Rashid Rice, and I'm going to fix that on our scrolling board here, but Overshown is still there.
There we go.
In the 4th round.
Awesome.
So he's up, one of the guys I'm putting up here.
Something else I saw really interesting as it scrolled by. I swear Steve Avila was only just picked recently.
No. He wasn't.
Was that just because you?
Yeah, it was just I was
just making sure. I was gonna say I'm like, no freaking way he made it.
No, he didn't make it. No way.
So let me see. Lost in Translation saying McBride is good. Go UAB. So
I don't have him on our list.
Jason Renfro thinks that Overshown won't make it to the 4th round.
I don't think so. I don't think he'll make it either. There's no way he'll make it to the 4th round. But I cannot. There's some guys I was surprised were gone, and some guys that I don't think Rashid Rice would have lasted to the next round based off of the numbers that fell down here, the way they fell through here. Yeah. So that was definitely the better choice because Overshown's still there. But I'm with him. Yeah. I don't think he will make it this far. Who knows what's going to happen sometimes in these drafts. But Overshown, there's a good chance. Again, you got to remember he's going from safety to linebacker, so there's going to be a little bit of doubt there. I think was maybe why you see some guys maybe falling behind a little bit, like that. But like to me, when I'm looking at here and I see Overshown available and a couple other guys available that I'm going to put up on that list now, that I'm like, wow. There's still again not the best talent in the world, but there's still talent here in this draft. No question about it. So good. I'm sorry. I don't want to get lost. I'm trying to finish.
No, it's okay. Go ahead and do that. Let me see. Jason Renfro said that Overshown would have been his 3rd round pick.
Well, you get
even over Rashid Rice, I guess.
Damn. Well, Overshown is listed as a close to top 100 player. So that's where he's kind of fallen. And right now we're at 129. That's a 20. Let's say a 20 drop right there, which I don't think will happen in the real deal. I know, but
this is where Mark's earlier comments and points throughout the offseason really. About making a move to move down in the draft in that 1st round pick. This is where those chickens could come home to roost. You know what I mean? This is where we could be getting a few extra picks that go our way that we could end up getting a guy, like Overblown and Rice and whoever. Overblown. Oh, God, I said it fucking wrong again. I'm sorry, just because in my mind I see it and it like my brain just translates it to like an actual real word instead of his name. So
I understand. Sorry. It's okay. I forgive you.
Sorry.
I'm actually going to have to put 2 running backs on this list.
Let me see. But Lost in Translation also throwing out there, that's a pure Dan Quinn pickup. A tweener. He is overblown as well.
He is. I like him. It's just I think 3rd or 4th rounds when you look at someone like that. Now, look, we just grabbed a I'm trying to get the top positions that we're interested in that of players that are still available in this draft. So right now I got 3 different positions. I mean, there's no tight end that fits in the spot for us right here. So right now,
I told you I gave up on tight end after my first pick was tight end and nobody wanted it, and my second pick was tight end and nobody wanted it, and after that I'm like, there's no tight ends here are worth even bothering to pick with any kind of pizzazz.
I look at offense and listen, 4th round, you gotta start thinking also a little bit of quarterback maybe, but there's not really right now. I think that there's a lot of time for the quarterback to get picked because we got those 3 or 4 guys the Cowboys like in the 5th or even 6th round. Running backs.
I still feel like there's a chance that whoever we pick here can have playtime impact, can still do something.
Running back at this point could be what we need here, right? We just got a receiver.
You guys have been saying it pretty much, all night. Draft is deep at running back, and not just that, but throwing it out there. We know it's offense that needs a little bit more help off. When it comes to some of these draft picks, the fact that we went Mozzie in the 2nd round also makes me think I'm pretty comfortable with going with another offensive pick in this situation.
We had a lot of our re-signings and pickups were defensively based in the offseason, so it's going to be a lot of offense here.
Pick who was the linebacker that we had earlier in the 3rd? Wasn't there a linebacker there on that
Overshown?
list?
No, wasn't it Overshown?
Was it Overshown?
Yeah, yeah, but he's still available now. And I'm just looking here, Isaiah Land at edge. You got I'm just looking at some names here. Dorian Williams, Cowboys like him from Tulane. Cornerback Mekhi Gardner and a couple other guys, but Rajon Wright, the Cowboys love this guy. So I'm down to a couple. I got to go a little bit hard here on the running back side. I think the next round is going to be a little bit on the quarterback side, believe it or not. So,
see, I feel like I'm ready to dip back defensively in the next round, but I also have to see how this one shakes out.
Exactly. But there's a defensive player. There's 2 defensive players on this one, baby.
Okay.
And 2 running backs.
Okay.
Here it is.
So there we go.
It's up on the board, guys. Vote it away on this. Let us know what you think. I mean, again, read them out loud for us.
Real quick, I did see someone mention here as well as far as special teams. You got to consider special teams. I agree. But
there's still a running back or 2 left that we can still draft after this. But these are the guys that are available literally at the top of the board, and they're going off the board now. So this is where you want to make a decision on that running back, if not maybe one more round. But there's also linebacker, the Marin Overshown, which is probably the best value pick here.
So the first one is, running back Rashawn Johnson, which, considering how much we've talked about Bijan, no surprises there, right? Outside of that, guys, you want to go defense, you have linebacker DeMarvion Overshown. Again, we just sung his praises all the way home.
It's crazy, yeah.
I would love him here. That one's hard to walk away from, like I said. Running back, Tyjae Spears. Hopefully I said that. Tyjae, there we go. Hopefully I said that right. Spears. And cornerback Rajon Wright is the last guy here on the list.
A hot name for the Cowboys at corner. You want to go defense, here's your chance. To me, again,
what do I think the Cowboys would do? I think Wright jumps to the top of that list as far as what the Cowboys would do. Because like you said, they like him. Outside of that, though.
I love Rashawn Johnson.
I think to me, you can't not do it. Again, that's it. Just
the only reason. Here's the thing I say about that though. We got Deuce with little Deuce Vaughn, still going to be there in the 5th round or 6th round. So there's still an option for it. Now he's not a banger like Zach Evans was. He's not a banger like some of these other guys may still be. But
it still feels like a crime against humanity, though, to have Overshown still available and to not get him at that spot.
That's my point.
So if you're talking about one of those situations where you can just knock it out of the park,
the guy who's going to take over for
Javon Overshown almost jumps
to the front
Johnson,
of that list,
which hurts me to say because I do genuinely like Johnson a little bit more in this spot. But it's kind of, again, goes back to that first round pick where it's if a player falls to that point, you would be stupid not to do it. And it's not like we couldn't use some more linebacker help. You know what I mean? It's not like some guy fell at I don't know, safety or something, which even then I feel like you can make an argument for that, but not right at this moment.
And he's not a basic linebacker. He's a different kind of hybrid linebacker. So let
me take this dog out real quick.
Yeah, so again, the votes are there, guys. And again, I know that we have the people that dropped the love from above here in SnugX, Mark Hopesepian and Jason Renfro. Let us know who you want. And I know Scorpio, is he running the board for Snug, I guess? I'm not sure who's running that, but I want to know what your guys' picks are, what your guys' thoughts are out there. And right now, like I said, Jason Renfro got his pick in with Rashee Rice last round. I'm here to still look at Overshown. That's who I'm voting for right now, guys. And I love running backs. I passed on my guy, Zach Evans, last round in my vote. I passed on both these running backs now, even though they're fantastic and they're a great value pick because Overshown, I didn't expect them to be there. That to me is the best value pick. And there's running backs still available in this draft. You can still draft in the next 2 rounds. So
real quick, Scorpio saying Spears is a good running back, but best player available is Overshown.
Agreed.
Overshown by a mile here. So let me see. The Reaper saying, Spears? Now that's a baller of a running back, though. Pick and pop, he's the one who said that we need a few more studs there as far as special teams, people who can contribute
and these guys
on the
will be special
side
teams.
of things.
These guys have to be special teams guys.
Yeah, so Scorpio gets the votes there. So Scorpio, you are officially running the Snug X vote choices tonight. So Marco Seppian, if you are still here, hanging with us here in the chat, drop a comment here in the chat. Let me know what direction you want to go in. But like I said, for me, I'm not gonna lie. In the poll, I did go running back, but I feel like now that we talked about it, I feel like I wish I could take it back and put it to Overshown. So sorry, my bad, whoopsie.
I think Overshown's gonna win this one. By the way, Tucker Kraft was not Tucker Kraft. He's one of the tight ends that no Tucker Kraft was taken. I'm talking about tight ends here, and I saw someone asking about when he went at 65. Darnell Washington. A lot later than I thought he would go, and he was there for us in the second round, but we went
in a different direction.
Yeah, which. Again, we don't have that's one of the spots we're missing right now.
Yeah, so Scorpio said Overshown is the best choice here.
I agree.
So let me go ahead and take a second to see what you guys are voting so far. I know we only have a few votes in.
We'll still let it run a little bit. Overshown by far is the leader.
Overshown is leading it by a mile far with 45% of the choices here. So I'll give it another second or two so people can go ahead and vote.
Keep voting, guys. Don't forget. And while you're voting, let me just go. I guess I'll go through something here since we kind of have the draft kind of really foundationally set here. We're on basically day 3 picks.
Yeah. And while you do that, let me bring in the doggy.
Aspirin is good for you. I know it sounds like a commercial, but it's actually it's related to football. Why do I say that? Well, Bayer, they're pushing their aspirin, but heart attack risk more than doubles when you're watching your team play. So, as you can watch here for almost 6 years on My Cowboys Family, that's a fact. We can see that definitely possible that you can have a fucking heart attack here watching your Cowboys play. But again, not funny thing. Keep if you ever have a little chest pain, again, not little, but if you have chest pain, aspirin supposedly helps on that. Now, our rival in the NFC East, the Washington Commanders, the sale of the Commanders, $6.05 billion might not be finalized yet, as last reported. A $7 billion cash offer has been put forth now by Washington D.C. native Brian Davis. He made this drop to buy the team, which would make him the NFL's first black owner as well. That's something the NFL might want to overrule and say, hey, I want this guy there just because it looks good. You're going from Snyder and what he was running with the Commanders or Redskins before that to getting a black owner there. Again, Maggie Johnson is part of the ownership that is right now in the forefront of buying this deal here from Josh Harris, in the same partnership with Josh Harris and his crew. So, according to multiple reports, cannot confirm that this is going to happen yet. But the word is that the first billion of the $7 billion are going to be basically released within 24 hours, and then a week later, the other $6 billion will go directly to Daniel Snyder. So
I have to refill my water.
It will set an NFL record for the most expensive sale in global sports history. Kind of said that the other day, but that looks like where it's going to head, guys. When it comes to the Commanders, that's $6.5. So that's $6 billion to $7 billion. It looks like right now. Of course, the Cowboys are worth $8 billion or more, I think now. So sorry, still way behind us. Now, when it comes to NFL news, as we're going to hit the chat. You guys keep voting, and as soon as the wife gets back, we're gonna hit you guys back up on your thoughts as you guys vote on this 4th round pick. Snug X making it happen. Marco Seppian making it happen. Bowing down to you guys right now on this thing. So appreciate you all on that. And Jason Renfro getting his picks in there looks like as well. So Overshown looks like has the edge right now. But I want to know what the kings of this place are saying. Now, Lamar Jackson, he said to the Ravens, according to multiple sources, that they had to acquire for him to believe in the Ravens. They would have to acquire Odell Beckham and DeAndre Hopkins. And then he said, "quote We can talk." Well, the Ravens said they couldn't afford both players, but they would get one of them, and they got Odell Beckham. Now, we know the reason I make Odell comments is because we of course, one of the teams looking at him for a little bit last offseason as well.
But honestly, the team most closely linked to him in general these last few
6 months.
months until the last hour.
Yeah. And then you look at the Ravens, who did get Odell, but they get DeAndre Hopkins still out there. DeAndre Hopkins posted today, quote, "Hopkins doesn't want to raise," end quote. So that's the source you want to go to, right?
I would say so.
He doesn't want to move the money around. He's willing to play on what he's getting right now, which is about $17 million a year. Which
that's
is not
a very
deal.
tempting advertisement, I have to admit.
And you look at the Dolphins. Kind of, I'm hearing they're making they'll make a move for a running back out there named Dalvin Cook, but the Dolphins, closed in on a wide receiver depth. They're going to probably release Cedric Wilson. I'm not sure if they even did that yet, but former Panthers and Cardinal wide receiver Chosen Anderson, of course that's his new name, signing a 1-year deal with the Dolphins. Another weapon for them on offense. And then, again, that's why I was bringing up Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook, running back for the Vikings, surgery. He looks to be good now. Who knows if dislocations will still happen or not. He's saying it's not. But according to an update now by Jeremy Fowler, quote, all options are on the table as far as Dalvin Cook. He may be released. And, I've heard the Cowboys involved with Derrick Henry and Dalvin Cook as maybe we'll replace Zeke with a Dalvin Cook type of guy. So he may be cut by the Vikings. All options are on the table. They already talked to at least one more team about a trade, and that team is the Dolphins. They're viewed as heavy favorites to either trade or sign Dalvin Cook if they release him, as expected. The Vikings are going to release him. The Bills, also another team, rumored to be interested in a running back like Dalvin Cook. But he would like to return home to Miami probably to end his career. And the Dolphins is probably are they now a front runner of the Dolphins?
Sail off into the sunset.
One of our opponents next year. By the way, Trayvon Diggs, yes, number 7. He was rolling in Baltimore with two legends of Baltimore, Ed Reed and Ray Lewis. And he was out there. It looked like he was on the Family Feud. Because he has like a name tag that's Family Feud.
It does look like Family Feud.
But he was hanging with some legends there in Baltimore. Dak Prescott hanging in Mississippi State. Spring game yesterday, officially named their new Bulldog mascot. Dak. That's his name. Dak said, quote, "They've named the mascot after me, so I had to come back and see that. For the mascot of Mississippi State, of this university, to be named after me, it's humbling. It's something I hold very special to me." End quote.
That's a cute dog.
But he's a dog on that field, too. You know why?
He's got that dog in him.
Remember Mike Martz broke down all those mistakes of Dak Prescott, and it was rarely half those interceptions are on Dak, and the other half on the receivers.
Shout out as well, because I know a few people dropped it in the Discord as well and pointed it out, saying it, when you break it down, you can't put every single one of those interceptions on Dak Prescott.
Right. And Mike Martz, the guy who kind of pushed that the facts out there about those interceptions. And when he was asked on 105 to the Fan, who would you take, Dak Prescott or Jalen Hurts? He said Dak Prescott. And he did not even hesitate. He just went, Dak, of course. Now, I just want to say a couple of things receiver-wise, because CeeDee Lamb, guys, he was the fourth, again, receivers. We just got Rashee Rice on this team now in the 3rd round. Fourth most, CeeDee Lamb is our number 1. We have, of course, Brandon Cooks and Gallup. Now, in this mock draft, we have receiver, in this case, Rashee Rice. CeeDee Lamb, though, you're looking at the number 1, 4th most targeted receiver in the NFL. 5th most receptions last year. It's all in 2022. 5th most receptions. 6th most receiving touchdowns, 6th most receiving first downs for CeeDee Lamb. He had 67 first down receptions. 6th most receiving yards last year, 7th most receiving yards per game, averaging 80. More first down catches on 3rd down, than anybody in the league. And again, lowest drop total in his career. He had 5 drops. So, and just when you look at the Cowboys in general, guys, the Cowboys are ranked 11th in the NFL with the most drops. We had 23 drops as a team. Green Bay was number 1 with 30 drops. Just want to say that. But again, CeeDee Lamb had an improvement this year and less drops. And then when you look at the receivers, the end of our receiving, depth chart or whatever you call it, Simi Fehoko. I bring him up for one reason. Simi Fehoko, guys, listen to his size. He's on the Cowboys, of course. He's 6'3", 220 pounds. And to me, if he can make the team, he needs to get better on special teams. You guys were talking about special teams. Simi Fehoko, can be the Noah Brown replacement.
Now, does that mean that we want to see Simi Fehoko as much as we saw Noah Brown?
Correct.
No, it does not.
We want to see Noah
Brown.
Can
he fill a similar role on the team
Noah
as far
Brown,
as being like that type of receiver?
Noah Brown should have been the 5th or 6th receiver, not our 3rd receiver. That's the problem with the Cowboys last year.
I don't think any one of us would be happy if we stuck Simi Fehoko in what is...
When I say filling in for Noah Brown, I don't mean taking those Noah Brown snaps. I'm saying doing the things that Noah Brown can do, like you kind of suggested. Look at his body size, guys. Again, Simi Fehoko, to me, has the same size, similar skill set as Noah Brown. To be a better than average wide receiver that can run block. He's a good blocker overall, and he would fill a vital role that Noah Brown did for us in the run when he was our 5th guy on our receiving list. Not as our number 2 or 3, as our 5th guy. So Noah Brown, he is 6'2", Simi Fehoko is 6'3". Noah Brown is 225, Simi is 220 pounds. So there's he's a little taller and a little lighter by a hair. So my point is, Simi needs to get in that role of a Noah Brown to have a chance to make this team, in my opinion. We'll see what he can do. Now, I just talked to you from the top to the bottom there. We're getting back to this draft here now. And we'll talk more stuff about the draft and more stuff about our Cowboys
let's go ahead
on Monday and Tuesday.
Close this one out here as far as this.
Is it set?
Draft
we have
pick.
A good,
I'm going to go ahead and see. Oh, let me.
What's the fine? I'm gonna close it out.
So let me close the.
Boom.
To get it back up on my screen, but go ahead and close it out there.
I did.
Ooh. And there we go, guys. 40% of the votes did go with Overshown.
There
so
it
this is the first pick
that
the chat
lined up
and the selection all line up. So we're all on the same page on this one here. So
right,
besides that, Rashawn Johnson was the second most picked guy, 26% of the votes.
We got to look at that running back spot.
Rashawn Wright, he had 20% of the votes. And Ty Spears, did I say that right?
Spears, yeah, you got that one.
13%.
All right. I mean, it was definitely a tough one in the sense of,
like I said, even I,
there's a lot of good talent there.
I picked Johnson,
yeah.
And then I kind of changed my mind and won.
I went over. Yeah, I know. I went Overshown, but it's all right. Overshown gets it as he deserves. I mean, I think that we got lucky to get him. Let's be real on that. So let me put them on here, baby. I don't know if you wrote them down on your side or okay. I
have it here. So and obviously as we get in some of these later picks, I imagine it won't take us as
it's not gonna be as long
to choose. But since we do have some drops here that do lead the choice, I do imagine that Scorpio once again will be making the final selection there. So we won't let it run as long time wise. So make sure you get your votes in nice and early. And we're gonna drop that in the comments here now. Nice and early, because I know some people were hoping the stream wouldn't last
as long. I'm sorry,
guys. Long as far as some of the selections, because I know it's all right. We understand, guys. Obviously, not everyone is able to.
Hopefully, some of you guys watch the replays.
Depending on your time zone. So.
I know. Hopefully, you guys can watch the replay. I know it's late there, 1:00 in Cowboy Central right now. So
that is funny. Scorpio said, "If Will McClay was in the chat, I wonder who he would pick." I honestly,
that'd be awesome.
Do you ever wonder how Will McClay would draft if he didn't have to heed the desires of the Cowboys? And I'm not even saying that in a negative way. I'm just saying, like, if Will McClay was fully in control and he didn't have to listen to anyone else, just him and his decision based off whatever metrics he uses or whatever, like, who would he personally pick for the Cowboys? Just because that to me would be very fascinating. I imagine it looks pretty similar to some of the guys that we already have, or that we already have like on our list of guys that we like. But it's more, like I said, who would he personally like handpick as like, I think this guy would be very good for our Cowboys for XYZ reason. So.
I mean, I hear you, and
anyway.
I you keep it, baby.
Lost in translation, much love. He's like, I'm still up. Thank you, man. Seriously, thank you to everybody here chilling, hanging with us, and obviously, yes, a huge and extra special thank you to everyone who dropped the love tonight so far. Yeah. Jason Renfro, he came through with his, Rasheed Rice drop there.
He got Rasheed Wright and Overshown.
Yes.
In that mix, right? So he got two of his
guys.
Of
course, Snug X and Mark Hovsepian have been duking it out all night, absolutely turning the tables, and I think setting a new MCF record.
It may have set a record
possibly.
Tonight. I have to check it all afterwards.
If it didn't, then it's definitely the second most record-setting
definitely top
situation.
1 or 2 of all time.
I will say, I think it is definitely record-setting in that I think last time was definitely a bigger collective effort between more people and things like that. So this is definitely the biggest kind of back and forth like that. So now, guys, we do have the 5th round picks in the chat. I'm going to read them through very quickly here. will I finally get a tight end? I don't know. It's up to you guys.
You have
if
a
you have
tight
end,
Luke
Schoonmaker is up there.
Cowboys like him.
You know, is it time to go quarterback? I think we can start introducing one or two. Quarterback, Aiden O'Connell. Defensive edge, Nick Herbig.
Herbert, yeah. Is that?
Said Herbig.
Yeah.
So, and then offensive guard, guys, Andrew Voorhees. So out of those picks...
I want to say one thing about Voorhees. Okay. He dropped because he's injured. He was injured, and he is now, he was a fourth. I mean, he was going to be like a second, maybe third kind of round guy. Now he's dropping to the fourth or fifth round. Fifth round, he's the top of the list here. So, but we do have an offensive lineman already we drafted. To me, it's down to... Again, I know there's no, right now I'm looking at the list. There's not many running backs available right now that I would say draft now. Now, there's still good running backs here. But look, when you look at Cameron Peoples, Hunter Lupke, Tavian Thomas, Eric Gray, the Cowboys like him too. But there's still a couple names here like Ibrahim and Deuce Vaughn that I think we can wait till next round for. So that's why they're not. These running backs are not at the top of this list. So that's why I went with these names here. I mean, we know Aiden O'Connell at quarterback. The Cowboys are head over heels for this guy. So that's an option there. Edge rusher like Herbig is an option. But that Luke Schoonmaker is a guy the Cowboys utterly love. They love him. So to me, it's another tough pick here of guys that.
Yeah,
you can go with it. But there's still great talent here for an average draft pool. From good talent.
Like I said, we're getting to the point now where, you can, I don't want to say strike gold here, but one of these guys could end up obviously, shining a little bit more than, you'd expect a fifth round pick to shine. Yeah. That's kind of one of the good things we do. So. Drums and Cowboys, yeah. We'll definitely, Mr. MCF will definitely wear this. Clothing combination for the draft, so he can bring all that great Jason Garrett energy into it.
Just for that, I'll bring up our all. This is our buddy here. It's my own video, so there it is.
Yes, Garrett, we own the rights to this footage.
Yeah, sorry YouTube, you can't ding us on that one. So, anyways,
so Scorpio's saying that he'd go for the tight end. Lost in Translation said he picked Shoe Daddy.
Yeah, that's who I voted for. This might be an easy one here. We might be going tight end.
Wow, so I feel like I have not been... I'm picking left. So I actually went quarterback on this one, surprisingly.
There's still two other guys the Cowboys like at quarterback. I just want to say that.
I know, but honestly, even I admit that I think I'm ready to find a Cooper Rush replacement that actually might stand a chance of actually replacing him. If
you watch the way that Ben DiNucci's been playing in the XFL, it's like, we want him back. Some people are saying, let's bring him back.
And you know what? That's shoulda, woulda, coulda. That's what happened when we brought Maher back, okay?
There you go.
Just saying. So, let me see. I'm not sure who won the Battle of the 99s, to be honest. I think Mr. MCF has to do some behind-the-scenes work to figure that out. So why don't you figure that out real quick?
Well, you guys, I don't want to go too long on this, though. I want to make sure we do this draft thing right.
Here, so it's all right. Go ahead and do that. I will, let me see. We only have a handful of votes in so far, but I also know that the people in the chat are not so plentiful as they were earlier because there's
we have a lot less here.
So real quick, as of now, Shoemaker is leading the pack like overwhelmingly with 50% of the votes. Wow. And then Aiden O'Connell, Nick Herbig split it with 20%. And Voorhees, dead last, unfortunately.
I couldn't,
Not just that, but why would we want to go for an injured player when there's perfectly healthy guys that we could use right now, we need right now, we could do a whole bunch with. So, What are the first 5 picks so far? So, Burn Bar, much love. They should be scrolling.
First be 4, right? We're on our 5th now.
Yeah, because we're on the 5th.
Yeah.
So, they should be scrolling there on the bottom.
I like this draft.
Just so you know, the first round pick was Darnell.
Right.
I almost said Washington. I'm like, no, that wasn't it. Darnell Wright. Second round pick was Mozzie Smith. The third round pick was it Jahir? No.
It was
that was the fourth.
Rasheed Rice.
Rasheed Rice. There we go. Rasheed Rice. Fourth round pick was Overshown.
Yes.
I almost said Overblown again, and I switched it real quick last minute there. So, all good, Burn Bar. Much love. Appreciate you hanging with us here. So, Drums and Cowboys saying, I would take Aiden O'Connell in this round. So, another vote there for the QB. Go ahead. So another vote there for the QB side of things. And like I said, I actually think this would be an ideal spot to try and find a backup quarterback. Again, that's still a pretty important position. It's not going to cost us anything, especially since we are seemingly bringing back Cooper Rush and stuff like that. But is that something that we really want to keep waiting until it's necessary to go and figure out, especially when we know the Cowboys probably won't go for an Andy Dalton type of veteran quarterback at that spot again? So, plus, I mean, hey, you never know. The last time the Cowboys picked, a not 7th round quarterback, he's starting for our team right now. So, the difference between a 4th and a 5th round pick isn't too much at the end of the day. So I'm joking a little bit, but on the other hand, I'm not. All I'm trying to say is that you never know where the talent could be found. And I'm not saying this guy ever has to start for us, but, solid QB depth is never a bad thing. And I think that our team is surprised, especially considering like all of our options here, surprisingly good. And like I said, I know Shoemaker, the Cowboys love him. They probably would end up going in his direction. But after the first 2 rounds where, I didn't get Mayer and I didn't get Washington, all tight ends look the same. So if you want to go Shoemaker, that's fine with me, but don't expect me to be happy about it. That's all. So, let me see. Yeah, we can get Max Dugan in the 7th because we love redheads. It said lost in translation. Yeah, we forgot. They have to pass the ginger hair test to make it onto the team. So, but we do need some depth at tight end. So again, like I said, it's not like Shoemaker would be a bad choice. I just think that Aiden could end up being one of those surprising higher quality situations, but at the same time, he really wouldn't be getting much play time, knock on wood, right? So if he's getting play time, we have problems.
Jason Renfro.
Yeah, so overwhelmingly Shoemaker is the choice there.
He is. Well, he dropped 3 on that for the defensive tackle. For the defensive end, I'm sorry. Herbig. Herbig. So does that change it? Is it close enough to change anything? That's 2 more votes for Herbig. That's not on there. Jason Renfro, by the way, the drop.
It does make it much closer. It basically makes it at 40% for Herbig.
And how much is the other?
So 50 though.
Oh, okay. So Shoemaker still wins it. Let's wrap it, right?
Let's go ahead, lock it in there.
So Shoemaker's in on this one. All right, let me make that pick. Lock it in, right? Shoemaker. Boom, and then. Well, I'll look at all that stuff as it comes up, guys. We're trying to get this under 2 hours,
yeah, go ahead
so
and
we're almost
lock up
there.
The poll.
Let me lock the poll, and then I'm gonna add a Shoemaker to the list here. Boom.
And remember, guys, only 2 more picks left to go. Thank you guys to everybody who participated.
Yes,
obviously,
guys,
thank
obviously,
you to
cannot do this without you all.
Snug X, Marco Seppian earlier tonight.
Jason Renfro as well, but those are the 2 guys.
Skeptical fan dropped some love as well.
Yeah, Skeptical as well, but those are the guys that run on the show. Snug X and Marco Seppian. Bow down to those guys. They're running it, and I'm going to figure out who's winning right now. That's going to be the king. That's going to take. That's going to be the Cash App is right now Snug X. I think I have to double check because Jason Renfro got in the mix, but then I got to check the overall board too. It's crazy. So you're going to have to give me a couple minutes on the sideline here. There's a lot of things going down maybe here. I'm trying my best.
So Q Ball, what's up? Much love.
Oh,
Thanks
another one. Oh shit! There we go. Okay, I'll save that one for the next round. Max Duggan. For Jason Renfro.
Yes, by the way, he actually, he got some love in the chat there from
Duggan is still
not just Jason Renfro. So
Duggan is going to be next in the list. I'm just looking right now. He's available, so he'll be next. He's putting 3 on top of that. You'll get the votes in a minute. You hit up the chat, my love, and keep it rolling because I'm gonna. And what's
up, Pioneer?
After I made the pick, Aiden O'Connell went up about 6 picks before the 6th round pick came up. So literally, we almost had a chance to get him in the end of the 6th. O'Donnell, or is it O'Donnell? Is that his name?
Yeah,
O'Donnell, or what is his name? O'Connell. So just think about that though. We got close to getting him there, and I'm just saying these guys do drop down sometimes. Not every single time.
And again, obviously we've done a handful of these kind of mock drafts behind the scenes and stuff like that. A very inconsistent year, I will say, just because every time we do it looks pretty different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot of switches here. A lot of unknowns, I would say.
That's why I said I would not be surprised that basically any draft situation where you're like, oh, so-and-so fell to this or so-and-so got picked at this spot. At this point, like, it feels very much like an anything could happen type of situation. Something someone pointed out, like, way at the beginning of the chat, the stream, really, is that O-line is a need for like more than half the teams in the NFL. So that could also just in general sway our decision-making process depending on where we're at possibly, and if it's between an offensive lineman and somebody else. Like, you know, depending on what our O-line options look like in the next round.
Could you go double dip in that? That's another option, I guess, as well, right?
I think it's possible, but this doesn't feel like
the draft
the year to double dip at that position. If
okay.
we double dip anywhere, I mean, I'm trying to think of a spot where it would actually make sense to do so. I guess maybe receiver. But hear me out. Only because it falls that way. You know, like the first one has to be an, oh shit, there's no way we thought we were going to get this guy at this round type of, like a big name receiver has to fall to us. Right? Like how high it was on the list at one point or another. Like something like that has to happen. And then later on in the draft, the Cowboys, you know, pick up like a 6th or 7th round receiver to kind of round it out. That's the only scenario off the top of my head I could see us double dipping at any position. But even just saying it out loud, it still feels like a bit of a stretch considering that, you know, there's so many, again, I hate to say it, so many other holes that need filling when it comes to positions that still need some help and support.
I'm just thinking of people that make comments on that one.
So, yeah, exactly. Just like Lamb did. Exactly. Like, it would have to be a Lamb type of situation.
As I look here,
but that's what Bijan feels like. Bijan feels like a Lamb type of situation. The only difference is that obviously Bijan's a running back, and so
I mean, as I look at this here, the guys I see on defense that are left, there's nobody who makes my top list here. Dante Stills from defensive tackle, we got one. Javon Hicks, safety. Jalen Redmond, Cam Jones. I mean, there's a lot of guys on this list here. You can still make a move at an offense. To me, there's maybe a little bit more here. And let me show you guys. I'm going with 2 high quality running backs again for this round. So
O-line's another place to double dip, said Lost in Translation. So
that's what I was asking.
Another position where we double dip at, O-line could be it.
Here's your chance. Here's a quarterback, 2 running backs, and an offensive guard.
All right, drop it.
Then what you want, guys?
Lost in Translation also want to know, is Stetson Bennett still available?
Well, I always need a position on that, too. So give me the position, and I'll let you know.
All right. So real quick, the names available, guys. We have quarterback Max Duggan, right?
The Cowboys
running back Deuce Vaughn. Offensive guard Antonio Mafi. And running back Mohamed Ibrahim.
Again, these are guys the Cowboys are interested in multiple different ways. So, I mean, I don't know, you guys can vote away now. And again, I do say that, if I'm not mistaken, Max Duggan has already a slight lead because of Jason Renfro's drops.
Yes.
Earlier, right? So he's on the board. I'm going to do the mathematics here. I'm going to actually update this as well. Who was the guy we just drafted? I can't find him now. Damn it.
Man, not Overshown.
I'll double check it. Hold on.
Damn it, I had it there somewhere. Where was it?
You guys start voting?
Shoemaker.
Okay,
there we go. So, perfect. Honestly, this one's kind of a tough one for me just because I feel like this would be one of those situations where if you're going to get a running back, since we haven't, now's not a bad time.
I will say one of these guys may drop into the next round. And in fact, some of these guys may be undrafted for all we know when it comes down to it. But I'm just throwing it out there that these guys could go another round. Just don't know. So running backs are still plentiful. But we're kind of getting into the last 2 rounds.
See, Scorpio's saying that I have to pick Mafi.
The offensive line.
Stetson Bennett's a quarterback, by the way.
Okay, I'll double check that. But the Cowboys are not as interested in him as anyone else. I
think he was drafted.
I don't see him here. Bennett is gone. I don't think he's here. Oh, he's there. Damn.
Oh, yeah, he's still there.
Guys, he's all the way at the bottom, 533. He ain't going to be drafted. He's an undrafted in this draft. And so, Max Duggan or him, the Cowboys went Max Duggan. I'm telling you right now. So, from TCU, Dallas Day guy they brought in, but they really liked him from before this. So, keep that in mind. So, these are the 4 choices. We're getting down to the end of this thing. I know Snug Guy said he won what he wanted to win, but I'm going to do the checks here, baby.
Yeah, go ahead and keep doing that behind the scenes.
Let me fix the round because we got our 5th round pick in, which was Shoemaker.
Yeah, so Lost in Transit said, I consistently found Dugan in the 7th round on my
He could be around us. He could be around
basically just a little early here.
Okay.
In the 6th round.
So. There's I can change it to not change it, but I can take if you guys want me to let you know what cornerbacks are there or other positions, I can do that.
I mean, the thing is that Dugan's like winning the poll by a lot here. He's got 56% of the votes. So Deuce Vaughn and Antonio Mafi are tied with 22% each, respectively. And Scorpio is leaning towards Mafi, which, by the way, once again, we're lining up on the same wavelength here because that was
offensive
my
lineman?
pick. You know, Lost
Guard.
in Translation actually talked me into it. I said, I'm like, if there's ever a time to double dip, and especially at a position that's so needed for something that we really value and something that is going to be hard to fill, like, unless you're drafting them, you're going to have a really hard time figuring out.
Well, he'll be automatically our depth
so,
guard right there, almost pushing Farniak a little bit.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, some healthy competition there at that position. Like, I am all for it. Especially because, remember, one of the other weird O-line things that I know we touched on it for like 2 seconds, and I don't think it needs more than 2 seconds worth of touching on. But we're trying to turn Isaac Alarcon into like some weird defensive tackle guy. So, like, I don't know. All I'm saying is things are getting funky in Dallas when it comes to the O-line. It might behoove us to go in that direction, and especially if everything is as deep when it comes to running back as it seems to be. I mean, heck, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if the Cowboys don't target. Look, no name off the top of my head comes to my brain, but it could just end up being like an undrafted guy. You know what I mean?
I do want to make a mention. I'm sorry, interrupting.
Go ahead. This is that.
But I gotta give the shout out here to both Marco Sepian and Snug X. Now, I will say this: Snug X right now. Let me just see. Let me just make sure.
Go ahead.
I'll make 100% sure here because I won't make no mistakes. Yeah, he still got Jason Renfro beaten in the cash out by about 30. About 30. Anything over 30, Jason Renfro goes for that three-peat on the cash app side. On the overall board, he's got a 52 lead. I think it's 52. It's 50 plus. So it's 52 over Marco Sepian. This is the overall, not just tonight. The overall for the entire week. So Mark would have to drop 50 plus, Jason would have to drop 30 plus, or Snug X takes over both boards. But Mark still keeps that. That would be 8 weeks.
Right, yeah, and I
have to throw it out. That everybody knows.
Yeah, the whole Alarcon thing at defensive tackle.
It's insanity.
It feels like they're trying everything to like see if he can stay on the team, which I'm not against.
Poon
but we already know that it's not going to work too well. So. Anyway, baby, if honestly,
are we ready to put the vote in?
We're going QB here.
So, man, this is a Jason Renfro draft too, because a lot of the Jason Renfro names are coming.
Although technically, Mafi, actually no, Scorpio said Mafi. So, but the chat wants to go quarterback. So,
all right. So I mean, there still could be a quarterback left in the final round. That's still there. The Cowboys like Clayton Tune. He's still around. So we're gonna go this route. How are we gonna do this? I guess Mafi got the second most, and Scorpio technically gets the permission to make this pick. So ready for Mafi?
Scorpio said, "Go with the chat. We have family and we vote as a family." So
all right,
we're gonna go ahead and go Max Dugan.
Max Dugan.
Then here. Thank you, Scorpio. Much love, and there we go. So that, by the way, that is the like I said, the only vote where everyone here in the family agreed, and also the powers that be agreed was the Overshown, which honestly, considering it was like right smack dab in the middle of the draft, it does not surprise me that is finally where we found some relatively common ground. Just because I know for a fact somewhere in like the third, fourth, or fifth round, there's going to be a player there that feels like 90% of Cowboys Nation is going to sit there and say, get that guy right there, that one, and no one's going to complain and no one's going to bitch except for like a handful of people. So.
Well,
there's usually at least
Duggan
one
is in
every draft, right? So Thomas Garrett throwing out there, I have to go with Muhammad Ibrahim. I told you a while back this is my draft steal.
I like Ibrahim. Ibrahim could still be there in the 7th round, by the way. So I'm going to double check that for you, and we'll see here. I made the pick. I'm making sure that I have to. Let me see here. Let me make sure I get it posted on the screen, and make sure I get the right draft spot here for us. Let me just give me 1 second, baby. 244 is the draft spot.
So, and no, Poon, just my own personal 5-head. That's it. That's what we're rocking with. So.
No comment. So let me see here.
I don't care.
That was rude.
Oh, so. But yes, gingers do have souls, and hey, remember, guys, we can't go too long without at least one redhead on this team. It was basically in whatever Jason Garrett curse was cast upon us when we moved on from him. That was like the deal with the devil that we made.
We're stuck with him.
So,
so Duggan is the pick here, right? I want to make sure.
Is it Duggan or Dugan?
Dugan.
I've heard it I feel like most people said Duggan. I feel like you've said it both ways now tonight, so I don't know which way to.
Well, I'm putting him on the board as whatever his name. He's a quarterback, and we're going heavy offense this draft, aren't we?
There we go. Lost in translation. He's like, I'm a ginger. So hey, don't worry. I promise Jason Garrett did not ruin your good name. So
this is interesting. Look,
we don't hold it against you that you guys share a similar pigmentation when it comes to your hair.
Darnell Wright was our first pick, offensive lineman. Defensive lineman, Mozzie Smith, second round. Third round, Rasheed Rice at receiver. Fourth round, linebacker. So we went offense, defense. Then fifth round, back to offense, Luke Shoemaker. And then offense with Mac Duggan, whatever. Mm-hmm. So that's our pick, our draft so far with this last one to go. And I'm going to set that up here in a minute, baby. You got to keep them entertained. And again, like I said, Snug X in the driver's seat. Here. He's in a driver's seat, baby. We almost look. We made it at 2 hours and 1 minute, literally right now. So we did pretty good getting this thing done. And I'm gonna get these last names.
It's funny, Scorpio. I'm pretty sure Jerry definitely has a thing for blondes. So just because I'm pretty sure his like side piece baby mama was a blonde.
Yeah, she was.
You know, up until a few years ago, you know, the Dallas Cowboys definitely preferred having blonde cheerleaders, and I know some of those pictures of Jerry enjoying his time as they're
always the blondies
NFL owner, let's say in polite sense, has shown him in several interesting situations with various blonde ladies.
Yeah, he's definitely a blonde lover.
He must really like Iceland, right? Yeah. Yeah.
What did you say about Iceland?
Lots of blonde people there.
Oh yeah. But I
said Jerry must really like Iceland.
Okay. I didn't hear that part, my love.
Okay, well there you go.
You gave it to me.
Oh,
we got the last pick in here. I'm looking at the best that's left, the best of the rest. I don't know, and we'll see what you guys pick. You guys make the choice here.
Let me see exactly. We need at least one redheaded cheerleader. You know, it's. I'm pretty sure. I will say I like a lot of the social media stuff that the Cowboy cheerleaders put out there and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure I follow a few of them on like TikTok or something. So, because I do get some of those videos across my feed. So, Jerry Jones doesn't care what color they are because glory holes, everyone is the same color. So Jerry really truly is the like radical inclusionary king that we've all been waiting for. Man, woman, black, white, it doesn't matter, guys. The glory hole equalizes us all and puts us all in the same footing and position. And Jerry just really loves and respects everyone for who they are as long as they're on the other side of that glory hole for him.
I feel very dirty now.
So no, we stand an inclusionary king. That's, you know, Jerry is for the people.
The final pick.
Jerry is for the people.
Some of you guys are gonna love this one here. Mohamed Ibrahim at running back. Defensive tackle Bryant Young. You got Arquan Bush at cornerback and kicker from Michigan, Jake Moody.
I've never clicked on a poll so fast.
I'm just saying, like, there's a kicker.
Nothing needs to be said.
He could be undrafted. He could also be drafted. So again, we got the quarterback out the way. We didn't get a running back out the way, and that's why you see Ibrahim there. To me, it's a no-brainer.
Scorpio said, "Wait, you're telling me Jerry wasn't a blind ref?" I think at one point he could have moonlit as a blind ref. I know several blind refs right now in the league, but they aren't Jerry Jones.
Yeah, they always do in our games, it seems, right?
Oh, right.
So now we're at the end here, guys, and I do want to know where you guys feel on this. How are you guys feeling on these picks?
I mean, look,
Ibrahim's a steal.
I'll keep it short. I'll keep it sweet. Moody. That's it.
I'll take him as an undrafted.
7th round picks are basically trash cans anyway. At least this one has a chance of actually doing some shit and actually can probably do something. And also, yes, fixes a need. Right now we have Vizcaino. I know we picked up the Raiders, the Ravens. It was on our team. They moved on from their kicker. It wasn't an our team. It was a West Coast team. San Francisco, maybe?
Gold. Robbie Gold.
There we go.
Yeah.
No, was it Gold?
What are we talking about?
No. Okay, there was a team that moved on from their kicker.
Robbie Gold from the Niners. Yes.
And we picked them up.
We didn't pick them.
We wanted to.
No, we didn't pick anybody up, and we didn't want to yet. You talking about this offseason? We didn't touch any kickers, baby. You get confused. Lines crossed. Zerline's still in the Jets. And Maher's gone from the Cowboys. Vizcaino's here. He's been here
my point.
Since the end of last year, and he ain't that good since the misses by Maher. So I'm just saying, like, I know it's late night.
He would be a starter. He would be a starter. Exactly.
Moody would be a starter.
The Raiders kicker. Thank you. Lost in translation.
Raiders kicker.
So okay, because remember they basically had a kicker that was doing very well, but then they ended up bringing in another kicker and replacing the kicker they had.
Long snapper. Was
it long snapper?
Long snapper.
That's
you got me.
That's why I'm so confused. Sorry,
long
I knew it was special
teams
for some reason, but there we go. So my bad. But the point is, we still need a kicker.
It's a big difference there. But yes, I know. We do need a kicker. I agree.
It's 2:30 in the morning. Let me correct you.
Luckily, we're just teetering over the 2 hour mark, so we're good.
So we
were saying we got to keep it to 2 hours.
We still need a kicker. Moody can be that guy. I have yet to see any 7th round picks actually play, so we actually stand a fucking chance here.
Yeah, Trent Sieg is the guy that came in from the Raiders.
There we go.
And we lost, we lost McQuaid to the Lions, but we weren't.
Yeah, Cameron said, I thought we signed a practice squad kicker from the Patriots.
No, Vizcaino. That's who he is.
Yeah.
He was all over the place, but Vizcaino was last with the Patriots. That was last when Maher missed his field goals. That's what we signed. He's the only guy we left on our team at kicker. Is Vizcaino, but he is not a starter. Trust me on this.
Yeah, he's not.
He will not be the guy you want to trust.
Out there doing
you don't want to trust him over there running the show. You don't want to.
So, and again, I agree, Jason. There's, the kickers are not as good as they were last year, but is he better than what we have now?
See, what
7th round pick are you actually going to tell me can contribute more to our team in any way, shape, form, or fashion?
I look at Mohamed Ibrahim. He's going to contribute on special teams. He's going to contribute as your second running back.
I feel like a kicker contributes on special teams, but go on.
But he don't contribute as running the ball on offense and get some bruising yardage in there.
Tell me that to our playoff situation last year. Like you're not going to any argument.
We have Ronald Jones, so he can play that role if you really wanted to. But will he make the team? I'm sorry, I was just reshuffling. But will he make the team though? Ronald Jones. Again, I think he will make the team if we don't add anybody to this. But Ibrahim would definitely add something to it. We got Malik Davis as the number 3. Ibrahim would be the 4th. So Rico Dowdle's on the team. But we're going 7th round here. So I'm good with either or. Obviously, whatever you guys pick. Mm-hmm. I know we got Scorpio in the house, and he's the one that gets swayed. But right now it's 50-50. It looks like here we need more votes on this last pick. But no one's going with the defensive tackle. No one's going with the cornerback.
Look, right now it seems like Mohamed Ibrahim or Jake Moody. So honestly, whatever is the next one that goes a different way, or obviously Scorpio, let us know. But I think Scorpio.
He's going with Moody, huh?
I don't know. I mean, so far I think so.
We're posting these. Remember, guys. It's okay. Moody has been looked upon as maybe being drafted somewhere in this draft. It's not like he's going to be undrafted. The fact that he's still available is crazy to me. But it's something that, we are keeping an eye on. Moody, to me, is, again, they got punters on this list that are all in front of him, like Michael Turk, Brad Robbins, and Oscar Chapman. Yeah, but Moody is here as the top kicker. We don't need a
punter. We need a kicker.
Moody's the top kicker in this draft. So if you want the number 1 kicker, well, that's Moody. You can draft him. Make sure you have to fight him for an undrafted. You don't have to fight for the undrafteds. But the Cowboys have a need. That is true. At the kicking position.
Yeah, so. Scorpio said I'd grab a kicker, so there it is.
And Moody just went to 56, by the way.
Perfect.
So there you go, baby. You got your wish.
Finally.
Kicker in the house.
Finally.
End the poll.
I would be very happy if we ended the draft with a kicker.
And I wanted Ibrahim, but you guys outvoted me. It's Moody at the end. Now, listen, I'm going to say this. We did not get a running back or a cornerback in this draft. We've got ourselves offensive linemen set there with Darnell Wright. You got Mozzie Smith. We need that interior run stopper. And he's a 3-down type of guy. Fantastic 2nd round value. 3rd round value at receiver, Rashee Rice. 4th round pick there, DeMarvion Overshown. A steal in the 4th round. Not in the 3rd. It's about where you want him in the 3rd, but the 4th round's a steal. Linebacker, it's like a J-Ron Curse. That is Dan Quinn's toolbox right there. Then we got a tight end finally, Luke Shoemaker, who's I think a blocking kind of tight end, so you could see him being like right there with Hendershot, maybe fighting it out. Or he might be rated even higher than Ferguson. Because I said 9 guys are rated in front of Ferguson from this draft. So is he that he might be one of those guys at the edge or like Ferguson. In the 6th, we got Max Dugan, TCU quarterback, again, pushing someone like definitely Will Greer, maybe Cooper Rush, and then Jake Moody kicking. Kicker, the top kicker in the draft with the last pick, and pick 244 like 256.
Look,
so basically, you can't go anymore.
Rounds out what I think is actually a pretty solid draft, and I think a good chunk of these names are actually not just like our desires or your desires or whatever. Like these are actually viable decisions the Cowboys could make here.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to seeing that, and also comparing that list to the list as far as like what the top selection was, and of course what Mr. MCF and I would pick. So make sure to stay tuned. We'll definitely be posting the final list there on social media, and obviously still discussing this tomorrow night. As we or
tomorrow
Tuesday,
or
Tuesday, depending on our schedules. Yes,
figuring
out our kind of draft situation, and of course, remember, expect now that we are getting, it's a T-minus 10 days, like you said. So the bits of news that might trickle out as far as Cowboys' interest or desires or whatever, could be a little bit more significant than things we've heard, up into this offseason. And of course, now that we have, I think, a more solid understanding of what we're, heading into as far as this draft. I mean, honestly, relatively quiet offseason for the Dallas Cowboys, so not much has changed.
You say it's quiet?
From, as far as, when it comes to our priorities in the draft, you know what I mean? Like, one or two moves, or, obviously off-season signings and things like that we've made affect who we're going to draft and stuff like that, but it basically all happened in a chunk of time, and then pretty much since then there hasn't been too much question about some of the things that we're targeting.
But the bigger thing is to look at who we targeted in offseason. That's the defense. We piled on defensive help, whether it's from our own re-signed guys like Donovan Wilson, LV, and others, or when you got someone from another team, yes, a long snapper here and a third running back there, but that's not what I'm talking about. That I'm talking about trading.
It's been a while since we knew that this was going to be a pretty offensive-heavy draft, or at least in the earlier rounds, relatively.
But we got Brandon Cooks to kind of help the offensive kind of holes, right, at the receiver spot. Traded for him, didn't free agent sign him, but traded for him. Same thing with Stephon Gilmore on the other side of Trayvon Diggs. We're solidifying this defense and solidifying all the holes on offense as much as possible. Ferguson's leading into the tight end spot. Tyler Smith, Terrence Steele, Tyron Smith. We don't know who the hell's going to be rotating around there, but the point is the Cowboys kind of filled in all the holes with at least somebody right now, and that's what makes this draft a little more open to versatility, with the different choices and a lot of different possibilities for the Cowboys. But I think that the Cowboys went heavy with the defense in the offseason moves, that now we know we're going, like you said, heavy offense for this draft. And I say heavy, I mean maybe 4 or 5 of the picks, more than half of the picks will be offense, in my humble opinion. 2 or 3 will be defense, and 4 or 5 will be offense. That's what I think is going to happen on this one. Again, kicker, I guess, special teams on this one. But either way, I think that's where it kind of was falling. And I think it's like we helped the offseason in certain parts and quiet in other parts of this offense, like quiet at tight end.
Look, to me, this draft also just, again, we're hitting at all the final holes still left on the team, shoring up some other positions. So honestly, this offseason, you got to give the Cowboys an A+ if it ends up going this way. So real quick, let me do some final shout-outs here in the chat as we wrap things up tonight. But everyone, one last time, hit like if you haven't already. If you're chatting here, you're already subscribed. But if you're just listening in and you haven't already, subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell, guys, so you don't ever miss one of our live streams. But you can follow us on all social media at MyCowboysFamily. We always post there before we go live and things like that. But let me see. Mr. Kima said those Cowboys' interests could be smoke screens. In some ways, yes, but in most ways, the Cowboys do tend to trend towards picking up a lot of the guys that we bring in for visits. And even though last year for the first round it went slightly differently, for the rest of the rounds it still matched up pretty closely to the guys we brought in. So still expect to see a lot of those same names and faces right back in Big D. So
I'm with that.
Jason Renfro, much love. He said he also voted for the kicker. There you go. Bama fan. Cowabunga. Rocking out there. Snug X, much love to you. Of course, Snug X and Mr. Marco Seppian.
Yeah, listen, I got to say, the battle is in the books, it looks like.
Yes, it looks like that's been decided.
I do have to kind of, I will probably look at it one more time to make sure I got it right, but I'm pretty sure because Snug X had that lead over Marco Seppian the whole week, that it went back to, it was like boom, boom, back to back. And actually, Mark dropped more tonight than Snug X, but in the end, Snug X had more for the week. And is the winner. If again, I'm assuming Mark is gone for the night. So Snug X, he battled through it all, and he won not just everything he wanted to win tonight in the stream, but he's first place on that overall board, winning that spot. And again, against Mr. Marco Seppian, breaking the 8-week streak. Now that 9 turns into 1. And there's a new streak starting here with Snug X as our sponsor of the week, starting tomorrow or Tuesday next time we go live. Again, unless something crazy happens here in the last 10 minutes of the stream. And on that same token, guys, the king of that Cash App, you know who that is, guys. It's Jason Renfro, the king of the Cash App, and he was riding hard. He was about 30 back on the winner, the king of the Cash App. It looks like it's going to be Snug X. Now, unless Jason drops a 31, it's going to be Snug X taking that crown down. And so that means Snug X winning it in the Cash App, winning it on the overall board. He's the takeover man. Although he allowed Mark Hopesepian to keep that streak to go on to an 8th week on that. I mean, I've never seen the stream boss bounce like that and still in Mark Hopesepian's hands. The streak with ones across the board tonight. If you missed it, please watch. It was a crazy, crazy stream. Mark still holds on to that stream boss, unbelievably. So now he knows. He's on alert. Now he knows that can go down at any moment, right, Mark? Guys, thank you truly for your participation, the love from you guys dropping the here, for the support, but also
the rest of the shout-outs.
The interaction of this mock draft.
Yeah, we have Cameron, Poon Everlasting, Lost in Translation, Burn Bar, of course. Let me see. Just in case. I think I shouted out, but just in case. Scorpio, much love once again. We have, let me see, Thomas Garrett the Superior. Garrett.
Superior.
Who else? Cue Ball in the house, much love. Drums and Cowboys representing. Of course, Jason Renfro. We had Mark Hopesepian in here. But yes, I think that's everyone here tonight. So, baby.
8 weeks, a streak broken.
Yeah.
And now Snug X coming in, taking over the sponsor of the week, taking over the Cash App crown. But much love to Jason Renfro. And, of course, Mark Hopesepian. You guys balled out as well.
Let us know, of course, Snug, what you want us to put there in the chat, of course.
We know why.
But shout out to everybody here hanging with us. And, baby, yes, why do we do what we do here on the daily?
It's simple. It's that navy effing blue. That silver, too. And as you can see right on that little helmet right there, that star over everything, guys. Never forget the number one thing here on My Cowboys Family. When win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly, how this draft went. We're going to post the results on all the social media we got here. So check out the results and give your thoughts on it. But give your thoughts on this video as well. Navy blue, silver star, win, lose, or draw, no matter what here. My Cowboys Family, never forget the number one thing here, now and forever. As always, say it loud, say it proud, say it with us. Go Cowboys! Let's get that 6 and beyond. And baby, you fumbled it again, but it's okay.
That was you.
She fumbled live on stream. You pulled a Zeke in 2017.
I don't make mistakes. I arrive exactly when
Snug
I was
agrees
meant
with
to
you,
arrive.
and I agree with you too.
So
on that note, guys,
my words.
I'll see some of you guys, I'm sure, on a post-stream party somewhere, as we were planning to do anyways. Now, I definitely own a lot of shots. So
I'm going to bed because I have to be up.
I got a later day, but I will.
Very,
very what? Huh?
No, I'm just saying I have to be up.
I know it's a late night, but baby, we had a late morning, so it's all right. It all worked out. Guys, thank you for rocking with us here on another week in the books. Start tomorrow, a new one, another one here on My Cowboys Families. Tomorrow or Tuesday, but Snug X taking over. Mark, much love, and Jason passing the crown. Appreciate everybody. It gets down. Scorpio giving his thoughts on this draft tonight. Guys, you can't do this without your thoughts in the chat, your comments in the chat, your just the back and forth. That's what it's about here. So thank you all for being part of this thing here in the chat. And of course, I mean, record-breaking night here on a very, I say, somber 2023 MCF season so far in 2023 on My Cowboys Family. But tonight was the I don't know, crowning jewel, I guess you could say, of 2023 without question. And also, I'd say probably maybe a record-breaking stream tonight. I don't know. We'll see when I do the numbers and everything, and we come back on Tuesday, and we will let you know about the classic this one was. On that side, on the love from above, guys, as always, we can't say any more than we already do, but truly appreciate your love and support for this channel, what we do here behind this little here microphone on the nightly, or try to be on the nightly here, with a couple of hiccups in the recent months because of the YouTube side, on the YouTube side, but definitely on the regular. Guys, thank you for checking in with us. Like, subscribe, notification bell. Now all good things must come to an end. And it is time officially to drop out, clock out for the night. Start a new week. Clock out of this week. Start a new week tomorrow, Tuesday, as we get ready for that draft next Thursday. Guys, on that note, before we can drop out, clock out, as you know, relock, reload for new week tomorrow or Tuesday. But baby, before we can officially drop out for the night, what do we got to do here on MCF before we kick it, rock it, and drop out?
We got to drop the beat.
Guys, appreciate you all. Have a good night. Truly can't not do this without you all here. You guys, your interaction here in this interactive mock draft, you guys help make every pick on this one tonight. And really, Snug X, Mark Hovsepian, Jason Renfro, and the rest of you guys, Scorpio. Thank you all for your involvement. Skeptical, everybody. Can't do this without you guys right here on MCF. Never forget the number one thing on this channel, here, now, and forever. As always, Go Cowboys!